coaching style goes against the grain. And last week his Oilers went from the Dome to the snow in Pittsburgh, where Warren shot for the moon, and there was no hill big enough to stop Drew from pulling off the catch of the year, as Houston reached out to grab first place in the AFC Central. This year, it's the Bears' turn for despair, due in part to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The last Buck victory started a string of 3 straight one-point games. The next week, it was Phoenix that found the Bucs no longer last-place material. Surprisingly enough, a win against Green Bay could have put Tampa 1 game out of first, but a questionable penalty call left 1 second of magic for the Packers. And the result now leaves a reluctant Ray Perkins in the role of spoiler. CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today from the Astrodome here in Houston, Texas, it's the first place Oilers of the AFC Central Division playing host to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Oilers are sitting atop the AFC Central by the narrowest of margins, need a victory today because their last 2 games will be against both Cleveland and Cincinnati. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown. Well, as we enter Week 14 of this National Football League season, the Oilers have a unique opportunity in front of them. They have a chance to capture their first ever AFC Central Division title outright if they win the remaining 3 games. But Houston can ill afford to look past the Buccaneers, who, although are out of the playoffs, certainly have done one thing this season, and that's to gain some respect around the National Football League. Working with me as usual is my partner, Ken Stabler. And Snake, part of the reason for that newfound respect are 2 victories by the Bucs over the Chicago Bears and an improved Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny has improved. Their whole team has improved, JB, and in the course of that improvement, they've improved almost every aspect of their game. Defensively, they're led by a very solid linebacking core and 2 very good young safeties. In the course of that improvement, they've turned the ball over more times for the offense, and points allowed is way down. So they have improved defensively. Offensively, the improvement has come with Vinny Testaverde. He's thrown less interceptions, more touchdowns, and of course, Mark Carrier, his fine receiver, is off to a Pro Bowl season.
Make no mistake about it that Testaverde and the Buccaneers will be facing a group that loves to intimidate by any means necessary. And the fact that their leader, head coach Jerry Glanville, encourages the Oilers to be as mean as possible certainly means the Buccaneers are in for a tough fight this afternoon.
You know, outside of all the wackiness of Jerry Glanville and all the hype over the penalties in the House of Pain, this is a very good football team on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Defensively, not a name jumps out at you. They play very good, very well as a group, as a team. And offensively, of course, they've got a handful of receivers that they spread the ball around to, a good group of running backs that they use in various situations. But I think the key is Warren Moon. Runs this offense very well. It's a run-and-shoot type of offense. And if they're going to stay in control of the AFC Central, they've got to go through a very much improved Tampa Bay team.
All right, Snake, and certainly judging by the past, you should see plenty of points on the scoreboard. Houston and Tampa Bay involved in some of the highest scoring games in the NFL this season. Houston at the top, Tampa Bay number 4. Houston has won the coin toss and has elected to receive. Donald Igwe-Buike, one of the most accurate field goal kickers around, hasn't had as much success on kickoffs. Coach Ray Perkins would like to see a few more touchbacks, only 11 on the year. And he'll be kicking off deep to Lorenzo White. The Oilers and Week 14 is underway, and Iggy gets a line drive to Lorenzo White from the 1. And Lorenzo White with an excellent return across the 25 to the 26, stopped by Jackie Walker. Warren Moon, one of the most accurate passing quarterbacks in the NFL. As a matter of fact, he's ranked 4th. Will be at the helm for the Oilers and the offense. Bruce Davis, Mike Munchak, Jay Pennison, Bruce Matthews, Dean Steinkuhler, and Bob Morosco. Backs and receivers, Rozier, Highsmith, Ernest Givens. Drew Hill will get the start. Hayward Jeffries and Curtis Duncan will come in on obvious passing situations. First and 10 for the Oilers. Ball marked at the 27. Moon on delayed handoff, and Rozier bangs his way across the 30 up to about the 33-yard line. Give it about a 6-yard run on that play. Call it 7. The defense, the Tampa Bay, Reuben Davis, Kurt Jarvis, and Robert Pig Goff. Davis been playing hurt all season long. Linebacking core, Snake talked about him, Murphy, Marv, Irvin Randall, and Winston Moss. Murphy having a Pro Bowl type of year. And the secondary, Ricky Reynolds, Rod Jones, Harry Hamilton, and Mark Robinson. They certainly anchor that defense from the safety spots. Bobby Futrell and Donnie Elder in on the dime and the nickel defensive packages. Second and 3. And Highsmith takes it for the first down. A 4-yard carry by Alonzo Highsmith, and if anything Houston has, Ken Stabler, certainly it's a powerful and loaded backfield.
No doubt. They've got a group of backs that they bring in various situations. What they like to do, JB, is they like to take that guy right there, Alonzo Highsmith, hammer him in there, bang him in there during the course of the game, wear the defense down a little bit, and then bring in those quick guys like Lorenzo White.
And Kurt Jarvis is down for the Buccaneers. And Ray Perkins certainly looking on, concerned. One thing he certainly wants to do the last 3 games of the season is to actually set a tone for next year.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. You know, I think it would be a feather in his cap to go 8-8, and they have that possibility if they can win their next 3 games, and that would show a great deal of improvement. I think there's been improvement on both sides of the ball, as we said at the top, and of course Finney has improved, and that's the key to this team.
Kurt Jarvis, a second-year player who played for Ray Perkins at Alabama. 3 sacks on the year, and he really has impressed Coach Perkins with his progress.
Oh, maybe we can see what the problem is right here. Number 95, you see the right-hand side of your screen, Kurt Jarvis, number 95 from Alabama. There's the handoff to Highsmith, and looks like we're going to get somebody who's going to fall into right there, into maybe his left leg, falls up under him. Hopefully not serious.
So Tampa, with an injured player on the field, signals for a timeout. We'll come back in just a moment.
To drive it to believe it. The new Accord.
It's the biggest game ever played for one case of Miller Lite. And both teams are getting ready.
You're not watching it? Why don't they just run around them? Wouldn't that be easier? Guys, you want to knock off the lunch or something?
Coach, this is some workout.
Oh, we want to win that Miller Lite.
Not to mention a free trip to the Super Bowls. Just like the one Bill Jorgensen found in his case of Miller Lite.
Coach, we got to get that case. Don't worry, I'm bringing in a secret weapon.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Look, we can save $300 on this Tandy 1000 computer. It's PC compatible and only $399. With color monitor, it's $699.
The kids would love this for Christmas.
The HX is easy to use, with desk-made software included for my word processing, your budgeting.
And the kids' homework. And games.
Let's get it, for them.
Too.
The Tandy 1000 family of PC-compatible computers from $399, only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
Not a very good sign for Tampa as Kurt Jarvis is wheeled off. That knee, that right knee, looked to have been injured. Sean Lee will come on in his place. And Snake, one thing maybe many of the fans outside of Tampa don't know, that front three has been playing in pain all year long.
Yeah, they've been nicked up. You know, that's not the first time Jarvis has been nicked. And, of course, Reuben Davis has been playing injured all year.
First and 10 for the Oilers. Ball marked at their own 38. Delayed handoff to Rozier. Rozier with the first down, and the ball comes loose and recovered by Alonzo Highsmith. So just like last week when Mike Rozier fumbled on the second play of the game and was taken out, he fumbles again. Oilers come up lucky in that Alonzo Highsmith was alert enough to come up with the recovery.
Well, as you said, JB, he fumbled last week and early in the game, and Jerry Glanville took him out of the game, and he never returned. Here he fumbles on his first possession, and luckily enough, there's Alonzo Highsmith is there in the right place. Ball bounces in a good spot for the Oilers, and they're in business with great field position.
Give the credit to Irvin Randall for knocking that one loose. And it looks like play is being stopped on the field as the umpire, in talking with the replay booth, replay official Bill Parkinson, they want to review this one.
Yeah, they're going to review it. Another thing you might make mention of, that the 30-second clocks are also not working today, and that will be kept on the field by the officials, so it's really hard to determine sometimes why they stop play, because sometimes delay of game, sometimes a replay situation. There's the fumble, and he took Rozier out of the game last week because of the fumble, and that's one of the things that Jerry Glanville has had a hard time.
Stay in this call.
Our referee today is Tom Dooley.
One of the things Jerry Glanville has had to deal with all year is trying to keep this host of really fine running backs, keep them all happy, get them the carries that they want.
So Rozier goes out, and Alan Pinkett comes in on 1st and 10 from the 45. Moon throws it complete to Ernest Gibbons, who has the first down plus 3 yards. So Ernest Gibbons gets up to the 33 of Tampa. First down for the Oilers.
Well, here's a shot. Here's a shot if you're playing weak safety right here. It's going to be a straight drop back pass, and to the right of your screen, Ernest Gibbons, number 81, is just going to run a little hook. And as we said at the top of the show, Tampa Bay plays a predominantly zone. So look for Warren Moon and company to work in those linebacker areas, in those hook zones versus the zone.
First quarter action, no score. First possession of the game for the Oilers on an impressive drive now at the 32 of Tampa. Out of the pro set. Rozier in motion. Now split wide. Moon back to pass, throws it complete to Rozier. And Rozier, with very subtle moves, picks up 7 yards on the play down to the 25 of Tampa.
Warren Moon is just having a terrific year, JB. He really sees things well. And Jerry Glanville, he doesn't have an offensive coordinator. He does it himself, but he gives this guy right here, Warren Moon, gives him a lot of flexibility to call the game at the line of scrimmage and do the things that he wants. Here he just takes Rozier out the sidelines because Tampa Bay playing that zone forces him to throw the ball underneath.
Bring up a 2nd and 3. Ball at the 25, and one thing Warren Moon told us he likes to do early on is to spread that ball around to get everybody into the game.
Got to keep them happy.
Rozier split wide to the left. Pitches. Highsmith. First down. Inside the 15. So Alonzo Highsmith, who told us yesterday he wants to run the ball more, give it to me more, shows why.
Well, that's the reason why right there, big, strong back. But when you have all those guys, when you have Rozier and you have Lorenzo White and a Highsmith, you've got to get these guys in the game. And one of the problems that you have when you're a coach is, how do I keep Highsmith happy? How do I keep Pinkett, White, Rozier, keep all those guys happy? How do you do it? Just like that. Look at the balance there with touchdowns and yards gained with that group.
1st and 10, ball at the 13 of Tampa. Highsmith and White are the backs out of the eye. This is White. White didn't have any daylight and was fortunate not to have been dropped for a loss on that play. And Kurt Jarvis went out on the 2nd play of the game with the knee injury. And one of the reasons why Houston is running so effectively right now is that Jarvis is out, Sean Lee is in. No gain on that last play.
If you're going to stop the run, the first thing you got to do is you've got to have a nose man that can control that center, control the center in there. When you lose your nose man, as Tampa Bay did, look for teams to run right at you.
Donnie Elder, Bobby Futrell, the extra defensive backs in for that dime package on 2nd and 10 for the Oilers. Ball at the 13 of Tampa. On the ground again, and Tampa doing a good job of stuffing the run down in their own territory. No gain on the play that time by Alonzo Highsmith. Winston Moss, who's playing extremely well on the stop.
Winston Moss, Ray Perkins touting Winston Moss for a Pro Bowl type year. And interesting matchup today. Winston Moss, roommate with Alonzo Highsmith down at the University of Miami, and And there'll be a situation where Highsmith will be blocking that guy right there. That'll be fun to watch this afternoon.
We'll call it a gain of 1, which brings up a 3rd and 9. Ball marked at the 12 of Tampa. 4 wideouts in for the Oilers. Boom, out of the shotgun. Good time, pumps. Going for Curtis Duncan and overthrows him. One thing we were talking with Warren Moon about, he says he's gotten a lot more patient over the years, where he used to look for the deep stuff. He's more patient now.
Always had that reputation of throwing the ball down the field. Warren Moon, extremely strong arm. But that's right, he has learned that people are playing them in a lot of zone-type defenses, making the quarterback be much more patient, take what the defense gives him.
So Tony Zendejas will come on to attempt a 30-yard field goal for the Oilers. He's 5 of 9 on the year from this range. Greg Montgomery, the holder. It's up. And it's good. So the Oilers are on the scoreboard first, have to settle for a field goal. They lead it by the score of 3-0.
In response to popular demand, we proudly introduced the Nikon Teletouch 300, a totally automatic dual-lens camera that significantly reduces red eye.
According to the latest estimates, Earth will soon be inhabited by more than 5.2 billion people.
Armed Forces, everyone has a chance to learn, to grow, to lead.
Opportunity is waiting for you, in the U.S. Armed Forces.
Back here at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, the Oilers, on their opening drive, come away with the 30-yard field goal by Tony Zendejas and lead at 3-0. And a big playoff day, big playoff weekend here in the NFL. A lot of action, and of course we'll be keeping you updated throughout the course of this telecast. And Brent Musburger and Irv Cross back in the studio in New York. We'll keep you up to date with highlights and latest information throughout the telecast today. Tony Zendejas will kick off for the Houston Oilers. Sylvester Stamps back for the Bucks, flanked by Donnie Elder, far near side, and Bobby Futrell. Flag on the play as Futrell takes it from his own end zone. Hit and dropped at about the 16, but there's a flag back at the 40.
Looks like it may be an offsides penalty against the Oilers.
And Snake Eyes has it right. This will be brought back. Jerry Glanville, very colorful character to say the least.
Belt buckle's almost as big as he is.
We have offsides. Number 53 on the kicking team. Free kick.
Yeah, they catch Eugene Seals offsides, JB.
So take a look at Jerry Glanville. Of course, many of you saw on the NFL Today where he spoke to the issue of bounties being placed on opposition. Snake, what do you think about that? I mean, talking candidly, I've heard a number of the old guys talk about how, in fact, it took place. May not have been as widespread as the discussion is now.
Well, you know, I played with a team that was penalized somewhat, the Oakland Raiders, and, you know, when I was
somewhat,
playing, somewhat. But, you know, our guys did it for free. I mean, there was no, we didn't need bounties, and I don't see bounties being placed on people nowadays in time. I just think that is a style of defense that you have to play in order to win. You look at the teams that are leading their divisions, they all play that very tough, intimidating style of defense.
Physical game.
You bet.
And certainly from a defensive standpoint, you need that nastiness.
I don't think Jerry Glanville is a guy that goes out and says, okay, I'll give you a couple $100 to knock this guy out. I just think that he preaches a style of defense that it takes to win. Very intimidating. Go out and push enthusiasm to the limit, but play within the rules.
Saw a shot of Sylvester Stamps back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, averaging 19 yards per return. This was Little Futrell again. Futrell with a head of steam gets up around the 28-yard line. Vinny Testaverde, an improved version this year at the helm. Not pleased with his 20 interceptions, although considerably down from the 35 of last year. Offensive line, Gruber, Tom McHale, Randy Grimes, Mark Cooper in place of Carl Bax, who was to have started. That was a late change. And Rob Taylor. Backs and receivers, Tate Wilder, Mark Carrier, Bruce Hill, two of the finer receivers in the league. Willie Drury and William Harris will be in on obvious passing situations. And James Wilder getting the start over Howard. Testaverde going up top. First play overthrows Bruce Hill. And the Oilers defense that Testaverde will be facing, an aggressive and hard-hitting bunch indeed. Pass rushing defensive line, Ray Childress leading the Oilers in sacks, Doug Smith and William Fuller. Linebacking core, Eric Fairs, John Grimsley, Al Smith, Johnny Meads. They're minus Robert Lyles, their signal caller. Johnny Meads will do that again this week. Steve Brown, Allen, Donaldson, McDowell, Dishman, and Johnson, the secondary. 2nd and 10. 3 wideouts in for the Bucs. Testaverde going up top. And is it caught? And apparently it is by Mark Carrier. And Carrier still alive down to the 35 of Houston. Just a great fingertip catch by Mark Carrier, who certainly is having an all-pro year, a 36-yard pass play.
Well, as you said, JB, they came out on a 3-wide receiver. Look right here. Look how tight, right there on the bottom. Look how tight the defensive back is playing on Carrier. Testaverde looks out at that, and you take that shot. Throw the ball up. You either get an interference type thing, or you get a big play. Mark Carrier has been making the big play for Tampa Bay all year long. Pro Bowl type year.
And there are those who say that the Houston secondary, the corners specifically, aren't as fleet-footed as in years prior and can be taken advantage of. On 1st and 10 from the 36, Testaverde overthrows Bruce Hill. Well, I think most diehard football fans certainly know that Houston is one of, well, considered the most penalized team in all of football. But look at your organization, the Raiders.
It is aggressive play, still leading the league and most penalized with that much, but yet they're still leading their division also with an 8-5 record. So maybe that's what it takes, is that style of defense.
Off the fingertips of Willie Drury, the former Oiler player who's coming back home to play.
Well, they hit them with a big play, and then they come out, and the defensive back, which they've had problems all year long. The Houston Oilers corners have been burned and maligned all year long. They come out this time. They're playing way off because of the big play to Carrier. Testaverde just not quite as sharp as he should be on that throw. Vinny has improved this year, though. Touchdowns are up. Interceptions are down. And basically has a better feel for what he's doing on offense.
On 3rd and 10. Stamps in motion. Testaverde, 7-drop, looking for Carrier. Finds him for the first down. Mark Carrier down to the 18-yard line. A 17-yard pass play between Vinny Testaverde and Mark Carrier.
Mark Carrier gets that zone. You're going to see it from the left side of your screen. The left side of your screen, you're going to see Carrier crossing. They're playing a man-to-man type coverage with a free guy in the middle. There's the cornerback chasing. They've had problems all year long with their corners, and of course, we talked about Carrier's great season that he's having.
Mark Carrier, of course, doesn't need much touting on the part of Ray Perkins for an all-pro season. His numbers speak for themselves, both in receiving yards and receptions.
Headed for a club record this year.
1st and 10 from the 19 of Houston. Testaverde with time. Throws it complete to Stamps. And Stamps gets down to the 15, inside the 10.
The thing that I think Stamps has brought to this offense is the fact that he is a very good pass receiver. On their passing situations, they will bring Sylvester Stamps in. They'll motion him to either side or the other and use him almost like another wide receiver, just another dimension to their offense.
9-yard pass play will bring up a second and about a half yard. And Stamps said he really is anxious to contribute. He's been very frustrated that he's been injured so often.
Has been nicked up. He's had some problems with his legs. He's had a back problem that slowed him considerably, and they do need him to be healthy. He adds the situation that they need.
We'll call it 2nd and 1 as Ron Hall and William Harris, the 2 tight ends, come in a power formation. And this is Tate. And Tate, it looks to be close. Bubba McDowell, the impressive rookie out of Miami, in on the tackle.
Interesting play, JB, and for a short yardage situation, because the Houston Oilers flow so well to the ball. They really go to the ball, and they use a little misdirection on short yardage. Play fake into the line, a little reverse type action to Lars Tate. The thing that you really notice, looks like they've got their first down there. The thing you really notice right off the bat, JB, is the fact that they are really giving Vinny good pass protection against a group that comes after the quarterback pretty well.
And quite honestly, Vinny was a little concerned because the offensive line has been so nicked up throughout the year. He was caught at times kind of looking at that pass protection.
No doubt they've had some problems with that. Their guards have been beat up during the course of the year. They've made a lot of changes in that area, and that's where the pressure that bothers the quarterback the most comes from, is in the middle part of the field when they get in your face and you can't see.
First and goal, ball at the 8. 6:53 remaining in the first. Tampa trailing by field goal. And wrapped up in the backfield, Sylvester Stamps is wrapped up by Richard Byrd. Well, we said it's a busy afternoon around the NFL with playoff implications. Let's go to New York and Grant.
Well, JB, DJ Dozier set it up. He's filling in for the injured Herschel Walker. And then Wade Wilson hit Darrell Ingram. And the Vikings strike first against Atlanta, 7-0. Back to JB.
All right, Brent, and certainly there's been some discussion that maybe too much was being tailored around Herschel Walker up there in Minnesota.
Well, a lot of people think that that has taken away their passing game, that they worked too hard at trying to put the ball in Herschel's hands and not their passing game that's been successful for them for so long.
2nd and goal from the 13 for the Bucs. Testaverde pumps. Throws for Mark Carrier off his hands, hit hard by Patrick Allen.
Little hesitation on Vinny's part that time, trying to read what they're doing over there and doing the right thing. Keep the ball on the outside down in this particular part of the field. Don't force things inside this early in the game. Start over, protect the field goal first thing.
All the hours that Vinny Testaverde and Ray Perkins spend together looking at film. Of course, he's looking at Perk now to make certain they're on the same page.
I think that they are, you know. I think it's a matter with Vinny that what he needs is what he doesn't have, and that's experience. I think he'll get better with time.
3rd and goal. 4 wideouts in. Throws it complete to Carrier. And Carrier down to the 3. A 10-yard pickup on the play. And Snake, it's really amazing how someone as lithe as Mark Carrier can really be so effective coming across the middle at only 185 pounds.
Those guys 180, 195 pounds, the good receivers have to do that. You have to be able, when teams are playing deep, and you're throwing things underneath, you know you're going to get wrapped by that big linebacking group, so you've got to have some courage when you go in there. Bruce Hill has it, so does Carrier.
Donald Igwe-Buike will come on and attempt a 22-yard field goal. Perfect in his career from this range. And he stays that way. So the man the folks back in Nigeria call Stoneface comes on and nails it. Game is all tied at 3 apiece.
There are few places on earth where you cannot fully appreciate the beauty of the new Honda Accord Coupe. The new Honda Accord. You have to drive it to believe it.
When you have your film processed at Eckerd, it gets the Kodak Color Watch seal. That means that only Kodak systems and Kodak paper are used. What else? But that's not enough for Eckerd. No, because in an Eckerd lab, your film also goes through a careful inspection process. Then your prints are inspected too, and if there's a problem, it's labeled, so you can fix it next time. Only one place does all this, friend. Eckerd.
Eckerd photo processing. Nothing looks better.
Oh, that felt good.
Left, straight left!
Last week's Miller Lite NFL Player of the Week was Richard Johnson, making him eligible to be Player of the Year. Look for the next winner in Wednesday's USA Today and at the end of the season for the Miller Lite NFL Player of the Year.
Exactly what is discipline?
Being grounded. No TV. No treats.
Firing squad.
Major Dad, Monday.
Okay, spanking squad.
You know, JB, we talked to Igwe-Buike yesterday, and he's been in Ray Perkins' doghouse somewhat this year because his kickoffs really haven't been as deep as they would like. The return teams have been getting the ball back up around the 34, 35-yard line, which is really good field position for an offense. And because of that concern, and they've told him about his situation, it's really bothered him. He's letting it bother him mentally, and he's really not swinging, really not hitting the ball the way that he would like.
Says he can get it off deep in practice, but can't do it in the games.
Field goals are fine. He's 19 for 24, now 20 for 25 this year, and hitting the ball good field goals. Kickoffs not deep enough.
And let's see what he does with this one. High enough. And from the goal line, Lorenzo White. And snagged hard. Give the credit to number 41, Alvin Mitchell. Great job on special teams coverage. Nailing White at about the 14.5-yard line.
You know, yesterday in our conversation, he said he thought he wasn't keeping his head down. Here you see him watching the ball all the way, taking his normal steps right there. Then he plants with that left foot right there. Hits this one well down to the goal line. Teddy's mother told him that. Keep your head down. Keep your head down, son, when you're swinging at the ball.
Well, it worked well as Houston will start from its own 14. Hands off to Rozier, and Rozier somehow finds a hole and takes it up to the 19 for a gain of 5. Will bring up a 2nd and 5. Near capacity crowd here at the Astrodome in Houston. James Brown along with Ken Stabler in a tie ball game. The battle of the field goal kickers, Tony Zendejas and Donald Igwe-Buike.
Had two almost identical drives. Houston started out a 10-play drive, 60 yards for almost 5 minutes, and then Tampa Bay comes back with an 11-play drive, 60 yards in almost 5 minutes. So they just trade drives, trade field goals.
2nd and 5 for Houston. Eugene Marv seeing something that he thinks he's clued into. Moon has a lot of time, gets it away, and throws it complete to Hayward Jeffries for the 1st down.
Well,
so Moon looked like he was out of options.
Well, you see Warren Moon right there. It looked like he was telling somebody that you didn't run the right route, and it caused him a problem. He had to hold the ball. Right here, you see him dropping back, looking to his right, Somebody runs the wrong route, and did a great job on Warren Moon's part right here of improvising, throwing the ball up to Haywood Jeffries for the first down.
And also give a little credit to Jay Pennison, who really knocked an oncoming rusher out of the way to give Warren Moon that extra second and a half. First and 10 from the 42. Moon with time drills it to Ernest Gibbons. And Gibbons looked when he caught the ball, he had the first down, but came back. Well, New Orleans is in a must-win situation. Let's check in up in New York with Brent.
JB, they're getting it done in this situation, too. This is the shock of the day. In the snow up at Buffalo, it's 13-0. Here is the Saints' second touchdown, the dump off to Hilliard. 54 yards for the touchdown. Hilliard is headed for the Pro Bowl. He's having a great year. Back to JB.
All right, Brett and Snake, there's another Dome team playing well in the cold weather.
Yeah, that's been the knock on this Houston team coming out of the Dome, but they destroyed that myth last week by going to Pittsburgh in snow and winning.
Moon tosses off to Rozier on 2nd and 3, and Rozier has the first down inside the 45-yard line.
I think Warren Moon is just doing a great job of looking out there and taking whatever the defense gives him. It's going to be predominantly zone. He hits Gibbons on the play prior to this versus the zone. Now watch this. It's going to be a zone-type coverage. You see the linebackers all running out of there. He just takes it, dumps it off under the heat to Rozier. Rozier gets the first down.
With the exception of the first loss of the year, virtually every loss by Houston has come after a victory. There was some concern that maybe the guys wouldn't be fired up enough playing Tampa today.
One of the few teams, the only team this year not to lose 2 in a row.
And Rozier.
I think that's a tribute to Jerry Glanville. They lose a game, they come back, he gets them ready to play again no matter what the circumstances are.
Well, so far, Glanville has left Rozier in, and that time he ran for a 6-yard gain.
I think that's important. You get a guy last week who fumbles early in the game. Jerry Glanville right there takes him out of the game, and instead of destroying the guy's confidence, what does he do? He starts him this week, he runs with him, he throws the ball to him, and keeps his confidence alive.
Good move.
You bet. You bet.
2nd and 4 from the 38 of Tampa. Moon for Gibbons, first down. So Warren Moon spreading the ball around as he said he likes to do, and effectively 9-yard pickup.
Well, they've got such great respect for Gibbons. You're going to see it. It's going to be on the right-hand side of your screen. They've got such great respect for him, but they're giving him an awful lot of room in that zone coverage. And Warren Moon, as we've said, just keeps taking whatever that zone gives him. In this case, a little 10, 12-yard hook to Ernest Gibbons.
Gibbons, one of the Smurf-type receivers at 5'9", 172, fourth-year player out of Louisville.
Nice drive here by Houston. Very methodical.
Under a minute remaining in the first quarter. Tie ball game, 3 apiece. Moon back to pass on first down. Complete to Gibbons again for yet another first down.
Well, you hate to keep saying the very same thing, but it is the same thing. All they're doing is zoning. Watch the linebackers run out of there. Watch the cornerbacks on the top and the bottom of your screen. Watch them move out of there. You're going to see them run out of there right there. There's a zone. Back out, back out, back out. All Gibbons does is turn in there around the 20, 23-yard line in that hook zone right there. Moon puts it on the money.
Poised under pressure that time as Sean Lee really did get through the offensive line to put the heat on Moon, but the experienced one calmly completed it. As the clock will wind down to end the first quarter, Warren Moon 7 of 8 for 80 yards, threatening to score a touchdown. Right now we're tied at 3 apiece.
For those hardy souls who brave the elements in search of the perfect tree, McDonald's has a treat just for you. For a short time, we're serving holiday chicken McNuggets with a festive orange sauce. There are also thick, rich eggnog milkshakes and cool peppermint sundaes. They're just our way of wishing you a joyous season.
Your holiday place, McDonald's.
Did you know if you're an MCI, Execunet, or a Sprint Dial 1 customer and your business spends over $50 a month, you could be in the wrong plan. You can save money with the new AT&T Pro Watts, and we're going to make it easy. We're so sure that you'll see the difference. We'll pay to sign you up. We'll pay to switch you over. And if you're not satisfied within 90 days, we'll even pay to switch you back. All you have to do is call us, 1-800-222-0400. New AT&T Pro Watts, another AT&T advantage.
The following fine items were purchased with Visa cards last year, but not paid for. Won in the Visa Our Treat Sweepstakes. Now all you have to do to enter is use your Visa card. And almost anything you buy just may be our treat. And the more you use your card, the more chances you have to win. So why pay with anything else?
Back here for the start of the second quarter in Houston. And the Oilers doing a good job of eating up a lot of clock time, approximately 10 minutes worth. And Warren Moon staying true to his word and spreading the ball around amongst his receivers. And right now, although the game is tied at 3 apiece, they're in scoring territory.
You know, you ask Warren Moon, how do you keep all these guys happy? Well, you keep it even. That's the way you do it. You keep it even, and you try to get guys, you get them a pass early in the game, which kind of calms them down and keeps them happy.
Rozier on 1st and 10. Good second effort by Mike Rozier on a 5-yard scamper stopped by Reuben Davis.
Well, they've got a good set of running backs. You take Rozier right there, and you put him with Highsmith, and you get 2 big, powerful running backs that you bang in there. You hit them in there for quarter after quarter, and the defense starts to tire a little bit, and then you bring in the Lorenzo White, that kind of guy who has a bunch of speed and quickness.
And you see the rushing yards there, courtesy of a deep and talented backfield by the Oilers. 2nd and 5, ball at the 10 of Tampa. Just underway here in the second quarter. Ball game tied at 3 apiece. On the ground again, this time stopped in the backfield. Rozier, no gain on the play. Matter of fact, maybe a loss of 1. And Sean Lee and Robert Pig Goff. You know, Pig Goff and Reuben Davis, and I guess you and I have talked about it before, both have been playing injured knees. As a matter of fact, many, especially Reuben Davis, says that Pig Goff is probably going to need an operation after the season.
Yeah, people really don't understand all the pressure and all the pain that's involved in this game. And those guys that go in and play week in and week out with bumps and nicks and things like that. It's a very, very physical game.
3rd and 7, Tampa with their dime defensive package. Elder and Futrell in. Moon back to pass. Touchdown, Houston. Drew Hill. Drew Hill, the man who got the start today and suffering with a transverse process bone fracture.
I'll take your word for it. Drew Hill did the same type of play last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers up in Pittsburgh. The great diving catch that he made in the back of the end zone. Very similar to the play they call right there. They put him in the slot, run him straight down, throw the ball in those passing zones in those slots.
And Zendejas comes on to nail the point after, so the Oilers move out in front of the Buccaneers by the score of 10-3. And Warren Moon on target, spreading the ball around, has the Oilers ahead by 7.
The duel in Denver. The Giants, fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, battled the AFC West champion Broncos. An interconference clash of titans today.
Here you go, honey. There's plenty. I'm Randy Grimes of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this is my family. My wife Lydia, my daughter Emily, and my son Brady. Like most American families, we never have to worry about having enough to eat. But as a United Way volunteer, I know that in the Tampa Bay area and in many American cities, there are families who, through no fault of their own, need food. At this Salvation Army Hospitality House, these single parents are feeding their families with food that my teammates and other United Way volunteers help to collect. United Way, with your support, is helping people. Your contributions make it possible to help senior citizens and provide emergency food and shelter for the homeless. We don't want our children to ever go hungry, and we want them to grow up in a society safe from the violence that drugs can cause.
We've learned that when you help others, you also benefit.
Because United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Honda, who invites you to test drive a new Accord. You have to drive it to believe it. Nikon, we take the world's greatest pictures. And by Miller Lite, America's favorite light beer brings you the Miller Lite All-Stars. America's favorite light beer brings you the Miller Lite All-Stars Super Bowl.
Gorgeous afternoon here in Houston. A little overcast skies. Temperature up near the 70s. Inside, it's all controlled, though, here in the Dome.
Feels pretty good after we watched some films of the Pittsburgh game on Houston, and looked awfully cold up there, -20 last week. If it shows that a Dome team can go out of a perfect situation and win in tough conditions.
And the Houston fans have plenty to be cheerful about right now. Their team on top, 10-3. Warren Moon with that strike to Drew Hill. Zendejas kicking off, and he boots this one good. And Futrell wisely decides not to bring this one out, so Tampa will start at its own 20 with 13:28 remaining in the first half. And Snake, Drew Hill, talk about a sense of where you are, knew where that end line was.
Well, here's the end of the touchdown play to Drew Hill, and there's the ball in the air. Watch his feet. Watch both of his feet. You have to have both of them in. There's the left one dragging the toe, the right foot. Very, very close to the line, but as you see right there, the official is right on top of it. A good sight line of the back of the end zone. Good call.
And Drew Hill, I mentioned playing with that fractured transverse process bone. Net effect, very small bone, doesn't get a lot of blood anyway, and we understand he doesn't run any risk of further injury by playing. On first down, Testaverde back to pass, throws it to Ron Hall, and Hall has it slide off of his fingertips. John Grimsley right on top of him. Philadelphia.
The Bounty Bowl. I'm sorry, JB.
No, go ahead, Snake.
The Bounty Bowl. Jimmy Johnson and Philadelphia Eagles fighting it out.
Heck, we probably ought to put Buddy Ryan and Jimmy Johnson in uniforms, huh?
Boy, that'd be fun to watch. Just those two on a 100-yard field. No helmets. Just mess each other's hair up.
2nd and 10 for the Bucs. Ball at their own 20. Complete to Bruce Hill. And Bruce Hill takes it up near the 28-yard line, an 8-yard pass play. Will bring up a 3rd and 2.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League as intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Houston Oilers and the National Football League is prohibited.
Stamps and Wilder are the backs. Lars Tate out on 3rd and 2. Complete for the first down to Mark Carrier. And actually, Testaverde had a couple of receivers open that time.
Had a couple of things working. He had Bruce Hill coming underneath everything because the Oilers are dropping deep. Watch these linebackers. Watch these 254. Watch 59 Grimsley. See them back out of there, back out of there. Now here comes Carrier underneath it right there, 84. But then he has to run out of there, and because of the deep zone, has to drop the ball off to Carrier on the outside. Nice job by Benny of seeing the whole field. Carrier, 4 receptions, 75 yards, on his way to a club record for yardage.
1st and 10 from the 41. Hill in motion. Going up top, and it's complete to Hall. Ron Hall takes it inside the 30, but there's a flag, a penalty flag thrown at midfield. And that was a 29-yard pass play that's going to be brought back because of a penalty against the Buccaneers.
What they did that time, JB, is they caught him in a double zone. Official's going to give us our call right here. Let's catch the penalty. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley.
Illegal motion, 84 offense, 1st down.
Snake, walk us through a double zone.
Double zone is a situation where you take your 2 inside safeties. Your 2 inside safeties cover the two deep halves of the field and your two corners play up short. The vulnerable areas in that is right down the middle, which they've exploited right here with their tight end.
Well, the play goes for naught and brings up a 1st and 15. 12:07 remaining in the first half. Oilers on top, 10-3.
A lot of people up there, JB. Looks like they may be going after him.
And Testaverde goes back to Ron Hall. And Hall goes out of bounds at the 44. So they pick back up 8 of those yards. Will bring up a 2nd and 7.
Doug Graber, defensive coordinator, talking to linebacker, inside linebacker Eugene Marv. And an offense like Houston throws at you, Doug Graber says, it's a headache. They've got such great talent, receivers on both sides of the field, a quarterback who's having a great year, and all those big, strong offensive backs.
Doug Graber's name is being bandied about as a possible candidate for the head coaching job at the University of Wisconsin.
Exactly, and he's done a fine job here with improving a very young Tampa Bay Buck defense.
2nd and 7. James Wilder, the lone back. Testaverde escapes one bit of pressure, throws it forward somehow, and Wilder across the 45 to the 47, 3 yards picked up. Not the prettiest of passes, but you got to do what you have to do.
Well, this is not the exact way that you draw this one up, JB. I mean, this is kind of a drawing it up in the dirt by Vinny, but he does a good job of avoiding the sack. You have to be very, very careful of flipping the ball out there around a lot of people like that. Nice job of Vinny of getting it to Wilder to avoid the big sack.
Boy, William Fuller and Sean Jones were all over top of him, and 2 big mountains of humanity coming at him.
Vinny Testaverde got a good high percentage going. I think for a young quarterback, when he gets off to a good start like this, he just gets better as the game goes.
3rd and 4. 3 wideouts. Under pressure. Corner blitz. And he was in the grasp. Steve Brown.
Well, they came with a safety blitz, Steve Brown. They came with a cornerback blitz or safety blitz. Top of your screen, you're going to see him. Nobody on him. Nobody blocks him at all. And, of course, the referee blows the in the grasp to help protect the quarterback.
Sack number 29 on the year for the Oilers. Chris Moore into punt for the Bucks. Kenny Johnson back for the Oilers. And it's blocked. Richard Byrd. Check that. It might have been Johnny Meads. Net effect, Houston did get to it.
Well, look at all the people up here across the line right here. They've got 10 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Only 1 back as receiver. You know they're going after it. They're outnumbered up there. They get good penetration in the middle, and there's the block in the great field position for the offense. Billy Bell, number 33, comes up with the recovery. There's number 91, Johnny Meads, getting his hands on it for the block. The ball's rolling around. Bell comes up with it.
Johnny Meads playing extremely well, coming off of a great week last week against Pittsburgh. Oilers with the ball at the 19 in a double reverse. Not much gained on the play as Curtis Duncan goes a long ways for no gain.
Little wrinkle thrown in there, and you can do that when you run the ball well. When you can run the ball well outside, you toss the ball out of the I formation. They toss to Pinkett, number 20, and here he comes around the outside. Curtis Duncan, number 80, but played very well by the linebacking core, Tampa Bay Bucks. You have to be careful with plays like that down on this particular part of the field because you get stopped. You get tackled for a 10, 12-yard loss out of that, you knock yourself out of field goal range.
Johnny Meads, the defensive signal caller for the Oilers. He was the man who blocked that punt. 2nd and 10. Oh, nearly had that one picked off by Harry Hamilton. Hamilton looking for interception number 7. Intended receiver was Drew Hill.
Well, there you see Mark Robinson, the strong safety, number 30. They're in a man-to-man type coverage with a free safety in the back, and that's where Robinson is. I'm sorry, where Harry Hamilton is. He's sitting back there reading the quarterback's eyes. There he is all over the ball. Moon makes a mistake throwing the ball in there, but gets away with it.
Now, receivers have the option of adjusting their routes.
They can side adjust based on where those safeties are, but it has to be read by both quarterback and receiver.
Highsmith, the lone back on 3rd and 10. Moon throws it incomplete. Ernest Gibbons, who was actually well covered that time.
Again, Warren throwing the ball into an awful lot of people. Down here, what you need to be aware of is that you're in your field goal range. Don't turn the ball over. You're leading the game. Don't throw it in that crowd. Throw the ball away. Your defense is playing well, and take your field goal.
And that's exactly what Zendejas is going to attempt.
I think Warren makes a couple of bad decisions there and gets away with both of them. But the experienced veteran that he is, he won't do that much.
This is Tony Zendejas, who has already made a 30-yard field goal. This one will be a 37-yarder. And this one is good. So Tony Zendejas, good from 37. Oilers on top by 10.
In July 1988, some said it was luck. In February 1989, some said it was a fluke. In April 1989, some said it was coincidence. In November 1989, some said, get me their phone number. Prudential Bait Securities, rock solid, market wise.
Regardless of what some people think, all spark plugs aren't alike. These AC copper core plugs match my car's specs for up to 30,000 miles of high revving firepower.
AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
It's the biggest game ever played for one case of Miller Lite. And both teams are getting ready. Get him up, Washington! Why don't you just run around them? Wouldn't that be easier? Guys, you want to knock off the lunch or something? Coach, this is some workout. Oh, we want to win that Miller Lite. Not to mention a free trip to the Super Bowls. Just like the one Bill Jorgensen found in his case of Miller Lite. Coach, we got to get that case. Don't worry, I'm bringing in a secret weapon.
In this week 14 of the NFL season, the playoff picture is not completely clear and all settled. San Francisco can clinch the West with a victory tomorrow night against the Rams. Philadelphia tied with the Eagles in the NFC East, but lead by virtue of their 2 victories over the Giants. Wild card summary, 9 teams are alive, so still a wide open race there. As we move over to the AFC, 4 teams alive in the Central here. Denver can clinch the home field advantage with the victory over the New York Giants. That game coming up later on. Wild card summary, 11 teams alive there. So, Snake, if in fact the league was looking for parity, they certainly have it here.
Well, that bottom graphic, you see you got 642 possible scenarios. In the 13th or 14th week of the season, I think you're talking parity.
Need some mathematicians out there to help me with the scenarios. Zendejas boots off another good one, and Futrell takes this one a yard deep, muffs it, and decides wisely. Settle this one down and let Tampa get started from its own 20. And Vinny Testaverde and Ray Perkins discuss what the game plan will be, with 10:08 remaining in the first half and Tampa trailing 13-3.
Tampa Bay has just run into a team that's playing very, very consistently on offense. Warren Moon, they've only had the ball 3 times, and as a result, they've got 13 points out of it. They've had some very consistent drives. They had a 10-play drive. They had an 11-play drive. They had a 10-play drive. And, of course, after the blocked punt, they get the field goal. So playing very consistent on offense. Vinny's got to do the same thing right here.
Rookie Danny Peoples to the near side. Receiver for the Bucs on 1st and 10. And Testaverde overthrows Ron Hall by a good amount. Hall didn't even reach up for that one. Detroit and Chicago. Bears cannot take the Lions lightly. Let's go to Brett.
Well, JB, Chicago can be knocked out of the playoffs for the first time since '83 if Detroit can keep it off. Beautiful option run here by Galliano. 7-3 Lions with the lead. Back to JB.
All right, Brett and Snake, isn't it something that the teams historically at the bottom are starting to move up and gain some respect?
Starting to move up. Maybe that draft works. They're playing tough defense. Spielman and company in Detroit.
Ray Perkins said also that run and shoot is here to stay. 2nd and 10. Testaverde complete to Mark Carrier, who's going to be about 2.5 yards shy of the first down marker. Doubleheader day. We talked about Denver playing the Giants. Denver looking for a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Who do you like in that contest?
That's going to be a very tough game. Wade Phillips has gone into Denver and done a marvelous job with that defense. They're ranked extremely high, and of course the Giants are one of the better teams in the league. I like the Giants because I think that they are a physically stronger team. I like the Giants.
So you think maybe Denver suffers a bit because of the competition?
I think so. I don't think people are giving Denver the respect that they probably need, but I like the strength of the defense against Denver's offense.
On 3rd and 2, Testaverde throws it complete to Ron Hall, and it looks like he has enough for the first down. So Tampa picks up the first down on the pass play from Testaverde to Ron Hall.
Ron Hall has really moved into the forefront of the tight ends. Good receiver, and they've got an offense that spreads things out. And what makes a tight end very effective is to have two good people on the outside. They have that with Carrier and Mark Hill.
Good size on Hall,
Bruce
too.
Hill.
6'4", 245, third-year player out of Hawaii. Out of the I formation, 1st and 10, ball at the 32. 9:18 remaining in the first half. This is Lars Tate. And Lars Tate bangs away up near the 38-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play.
You know, the tight end position is such a tough one. Watch right here, number 82. You watch Hall. Not only do you have to be a good pass receiver, but you've got to be able to take on the Johnny Meads of the world. Big, strong, tough linebackers. He locks up with him, runs him to the sideline. Nice job of blocking by Rod Hall.
Well, that was only the 3rd rushing play of the afternoon so far for the Buccaneers after 15 passing plays. Perkins looking to get Testaverde uncorked a bit more these last 3 games. 2nd and 3. William Harris in motion. James Wilder. And Wilder couldn't turn the corner. Give the credit to Eric Fairs. So a loss of 2 on the play. Eric Fairs, left outside linebacker for the Oilers, doing the job.
It's a good Oiler defense. They really go to the ball. You know, they get talked about for hitting late, the penalties and all that, but they really play well as a group. There's not one guy out there when you start talking about Pro Bowls and All-Pro and things like that. Defensively, there's not a group out there that really, one guy that jumps out at you. But collectively as 11, they play tough.
3rd and 5. Johnny Meads, the signal caller, in place of Robert Lyles for the Oilers. He's got a challenge here. And it's complete for the first down, but they say he's out of bounds. So Danny Peoples made the reception, but was out of bounds.
Well, you make that cut out there, the ball is delivered a little bit late, but when you make that cut out there, there you see his left foot coming down out of bounds. Good call, but you have to leave yourself some room to the sidelines to adjust to.
And I'm sure that's exactly what Ray Perkins was talking to him about. He wasn't pushed out. A track man trying to make the adjustment to football, and they think he can.
They blocked the last one, but they're going to try to return this one.
And a couple of flags are thrown on the play, and Moore gets away a beauty this time. And Kenny Johnson takes it at his own 13. And gets it back across the 20 to the 21. 4-6 hang time by Chris Moore. But there are a couple of penalty flags. Well, Chris Moore booted a beauty 50-yarder. And this one will go against the Oilers. So Tampa will come out with excellent field position. It's Leo Miles, the head linesman, talking to Mr. Dooley. They certainly have been under fire the last couple of weeks. And the officials in general, so I'm certain that they're getting their housekeeping in order.
Right side of the formation right here. You go right side of the formation. There's the jump right there. The second man inside from the right side jumps into the neutral zone before the ball is snapped.
No mistake about that one. The Oilers were 8,000 tickets shy of a sellout here. Some of the Oilers players were a little frustrated, saying, my goodness, we're in first place. We expect to pack house right now. They're trying to give them a good show, leading the Buccaneers by the score of 13-3.
Warren Moon has taken advantage of every possession, and they've gone field goal, touchdown, field goal to give him their 13, and the Bucs had one good 10 or 11 play drive for their field goal, and both offenses have been playing fairly consistently.
And they were measuring, and it's just short. Bucs, of course, were hoping for a first down. Now, might you expect a go for it or a trick type of play with 4th and inches?
I think the only thing you might look for is a play that would try to draw them off sides. Try to draw them off sides. Well, they may go for it. They have nothing to lose. They're out of the playoffs. They don't have an opportunity to do that. Let's go for it.
And Testaverde heads back to the huddle to talk with his troops.
It still could be a situation where Vinny Testaverde goes up to the line, JB, barks out some real quick signals, draw them off sides to get the first down. We'll watch.
Ron Hall and William Harris, the 2 tight ends in. And we'll see what Ray Perkins called with Testaverde. And there's a flag drop. Now, keep in mind, the 30-second clock, as we mentioned before, is not operating. And the field judge is keeping track of things. That doesn't help.
Well, it really doesn't, you know, and it's really tough on a quarterback when you come up there and you're trying to get your team out of the huddle, get up to the line of scrimmage so you can go for it on 4th down or whatever you're going to do, and you don't have anything to gauge how quick you've got to go because the officials are keeping the time on the field.
So Ray Perkins will have to put whatever he was about to call back into his pocket. Chris Moore on to punt, back deep for the Oilers, Kenny Johnson. Barely gets this one away. Johnson takes it from the 27, and Sylvester Stamps was down there quickly to cover. 37-yard punt, 2-yard return, and the Oilers will take over at their own 28.
Toyota's 1990 4x4. Park it anywhere. How to build a Christmas fire. 1. Roll up your sleeves. 2. Get down on your knees. 3. Use a little paper. 4. Strike the perfect match. 5. Step back and feel the heat. This Christmas, light a fire with diamonds.
Ever since my brother Tom got this Magnavox 52-inch big screen TV... The show's gonna start, come on. He stopped going to the movies. The picture is huge, sharp, and brighter than any ordinary TV. And I get great seats. Plus, Magnavox has a 100-watt JBL sound system. It's the same Dolby surround sound you hear at the movies. Yeah, and I don't have to stand in line in the rain anymore. Tom, it doesn't always rain when you go to the movies. Not anymore.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
The Blue Demons of DePaul, the Tar Heels of North Carolina, the season premiere of college basketball on CBS Sports next Saturday.
We'll have a Saturday edition of the NFL to bring you away next week. It all gets started at noontime with the NFL today, and that'll be followed by the Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Giants. And, Snake, we understand that Tom Landry may very well be in attendance at that game, watching the Cowboys for the first time this year. And Warren Moon hands off to Mike Rozier on first down, and Rozier takes it the necessary 10 yards for the first down.
You know, JB, you mentioned the fact that Coach Tom Landry would be in attendance at the Giants and Cowboy game, and I think he was quoted this week as saying that in the NFL today that he would not have traded Herschel Walker, that he, as a Herschel Walker fan, realizes that Herschel Walker can do an awful lot for the team, special teams, carrying the ball, receiving the ball, and he said he would keep him in his offense.
And Herschel Walker certainly has made it very clear he wanted to stay. 1st and 10 for the Oilers. Ball at their own 40. 6:37 remaining in the first half. And play is stopped as a penalty flag is thrown. And maybe this might be a delay of game.
False start. 63 offense. First down.
And that'll be against Mike Munchak. Mike Munchak, one of the 3 current Oilers who was selected to the 30th year anniversary team, the Dream Team.
Warren Moon, quarterback, voted to that team. Earl Campbell, great running back. Ray Childress, number 79, defensive end, also voted to that team.
1st and 15 out of the pro set. With lots of time, finds Gibbons complete. And Ernest Gibbons trying to show some juke moves.
We spoke with Warren Moon yesterday, and Warren Moon said that in this defense, look right in the middle of the field where you see the Oiler helmet on the field. That's the area that Warren Moon said that they thought they could do some business. Watch this right here. Waits for him to come in. There's the middle of the field. And if you don't think that little ball doesn't draw a crowd, watch this. There's a gang of bodies in there.
To a little man. 13-yard pass play up to the 48. 2nd and 2. And Alonzo Highsmith takes it across midfield for the first down. So Highsmith, good, powerful drive, picking up 3 yards on the carry. And San Diego on top of the Skins 14-0. And if the Skins lose today, they're out of it.
Billy Joe Tolliver, quarterback for San Diego these days.
Well, for the first time this year, all of the Oilers games broadcast over Spanish radio. So getting good coverage around the Southwest.
Bueno coverage.
And let's take a listen.
Qué bonito está corriendo Mike Rozier esta tarde. Harry Hamilton. Harry Hamilton fue el que hizo el tacleo, pero con eso llega hasta la 38 ya. Houston en el terreno profundo de Tampa Bay. Y ahorita lo que vamos a ver es que los Houston Oilers pueden avanzar más con sus pases de Warren Moon. Ahí viene Warren Moon, va a salir con sus alas abiertas, que van a ser Haywood Jeffries y Ernest Gibbons, y con 2 corredores. Acaba de entrar Alan Pinkett en lugar de Mike Rozier. Retrocede Warren Moon, busca por el lado izquierdo y se va por el centro con un pase completo a la ala cerrada. Qué bonito pase de Warren Moon. Hay instantes que le estaban poniendo mucha presión. Hasta el árbitro, el referee estaba en medio. Se tuvo que agachar el árbitro porque vino muy cerquita del pase de la cabeza del árbitro, del referee, el pase de Warren Moon. ¿Qué tal? Pero sus alas cerradas, como estábamos platicando hace rato, que los Oilers tienen que utilizar más a sus alas cerradas, sus tight ends.
Well, that's the extent of my Spanish vocabulary.
Bueno throw by Moon, see?
2nd and 4 for the Oilers. 3:29 remaining in the first half. Moon operating out of the pro set. Moon going up top. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Haywood Jeffries, covered by Ricky Reynolds. And Snake, the one question I do have for you about the Spanish broadcast, what do you think about the analysis? Was he right on target with it?
I think he's right on top of the whole thing. You know, Rozier pops in there for a good game. He says Warren Moon making a good throw. Here, Warren Moon sees the tight coverage, and it's very good tight coverage by Ricky Reynolds. Number 29 has him all the way.
And we heard in that broadcast Warren Moon's name called a number of times. Moon 10 of 13, 111 yards and 1 touchdown. Not a bad half. 3rd and 4. 3 wideouts in. Moon under pressure. Throws it complete to Drew Hill. And enough for the first down. Bobby Futrell on the coverage.
Again, it's the underneath things that they're doing against that zone. Hill right in here, come underneath the zone, right through there. Nothing special. You're going to see Moon look downfield, look downfield. There goes Drew Hill, number 85, in front of everything. The Tampa Bay defense forcing them to throw the ball underneath. Futrell, number 36, makes the play.
And I'd say Drew Hill is mixing it up pretty good for a man with a broken bone in his back.
She's running good. Doesn't seem to be bothered at all.
Rozier out. Alan Pinkett in. On 1st and 10. Complete to Bob Morosco. And Bob Morosco lugs it down near the first down marker.
Really keeping them off balance, JB. Throwing the ball underneath to Hill, trying to throw the ball deep to Gibbons, throwing the ball in the middle of the field, throwing the ball on the outside of the tight end, running off both corners with those big backs. Good play selection by the Houston Oilers.
First-year player from Penn State, and of course our producer Bean from Cleveland let us know that as they reach the 2-minute mark, he's from Cleveland.
Hey. Listen, if I give you all some wine, do you promise to get out of the kitchen?
Depends on the wine.
I guarantee you'll like it. Just try it. Ooh, this is so nice.
Have we had this before?
No, I found you something different.
White Grenache. See, Gallo. When they start making this?
Y'all happy? Yeah, good. All right, so out.
Ernest and Julio Gallo invite you to try a remarkable wine, White Grenache. It will change the way you think about Gallo.
And all of a sudden, I was just thrown to the ground. It's like my eyes were seeing, but my mind couldn't comprehend what was happening.
Just about everything we own in the world is broken.
As a neighbor went past, she said, "I'm sorry, but your house fell down the hill."
On October 17th, an earthquake took Northern California by surprise. The next day, so did Allstate.
They actually drove up here in the middle of the night.
And they land in Los Gatos, California, and within 6 hours, they're at my door. Our Allstate agent told us, you find a place to stay. If you can't, we'll find one for you.
They're inventorying our house and what's in it. They're hauling it away for us. They're storing it for us.
We went through the house, and in a matter of hours, we had a check in our hands.
And to see a check right away is amazing.
They are handling it for us, and in a caring manner.
I expected bean pushers, and I got sensitive people instead. You find out how good your insurance company is when there's a disaster.
Monday, it's an Al Floss Christmas Carol.
Not me. Not Big Al. Not the big guy.
It was really a big funeral, Al.
Really?
On the famous Teddy Z.
JB, you see that right there? That helmet, that shine. It's a shiny helmet that belongs on the head of a guy named Art Horridge, and he is known as there's the Art Horridge, known as the Oiler Roughneck. It's him.
Well, he may want to stick around and tune in at halftime when Brent and Herb will bring us up to date with all the scores, highlights, and latest information. And Dick Butkus profiles the Broncos rookie running back from Alabama, your alma mater, Bobby Humphrey.
Bobby Humphrey's brought a slashing type of runner to that offense. It's really been very, very effective this year. Also a good little pass receiver.
2nd and 1, Rozier and Highsmith the backs. Ball at the 18 of Tampa. Rozier in motion. Splits wide to the right. Highsmith bangs his way and loses the ball. And does Tampa recover? And they do. And there's a little fisticuffs going on out on the field as Reuben Davis and Broderick Thomas get involved. Now, Broderick Thomas had done a fair amount of talking coming into the game because his nickname is Sandman. Johnny Means, his middle name is Sand. So he says he's the original Sandman. They were trying to put the rookie in his place, and he's active on the field.
Exactly. You're going to see Highsmith pop through there, and one of the cornerbacks come up. I'm not exactly sure which one, but he gets through there. There it is right there. It's number 39. It's Harry Hamilton. Comes up, puts his hat right on the ball, shakes the ball loose, and come up with it.
And Hamilton was very slow getting up. As a matter of fact, a couple of players fell on top of him. Just take a look at 39, Harry Hamilton, still on the field. Watch, someone falls on top of him.
Kevin Murphy comes up with the recovery.
Let's hope he's okay. So with 1:52 remaining in the half, Tampa apparently recovers a fumble. And I say apparently because It looks like this play is being reviewed from up top again. And if it stands, Tampa will take over at its own 15. The replay official is Bill Parkinson.
Another shot at it. There's the hit by Hamilton, number 39.
And the play does stand. I tell you, Snake, the way Highsmith fell on his neck, he was fortunate to come away without an injury on that play. So Tampa takes over, 1:52 remaining in the half. Tampa trailing by 10. Testaverde going up top to Peoples. Intercepted. Chris Dishman. Testaverde throws his 21st interception of the year, and Dishman with a little pizzazz on the return.
Well, here it is right here, straight drop back. Then he just underthrows this ball. Watch where the ball is. Got to throw it, got to lay it out where your receiver can go get it. He doesn't even give his receiver a chance. Dishman picks it off, finds an avenue headed for the other goal line. Now watch this. He's ready to lateral the ball. Right here, watch him hand it. You take it, you take it, you take it. The other guy said, I don't want it. There's too many white shirts coming.
Steve Brown said, no, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, keep it. Nice job by Dishman, sitting back there and reacting to the ball. 4th
interception of the year for Chris Dishman. And Moon with great field position throws it complete and incomplete. And Harry Hamilton in on that play again, putting the hat on Ernest Givens.
Again, James, you see where they're throwing the ball down there. Warren, yesterday, as we said earlier, they think they can do business in the middle part of the field, right there, trying to hit Givens in the middle part.
Boy, Harry Hamilton is really sticking his hat in the middle of things literally today.
Both of those safeties back there, both of them have like 5 or 6 interceptions apiece, playing very solid defense. 2 very smart players, Hamilton and Robinson.
2nd and 10 from the 16. 1:33 remaining in the first half. The red gun package in, 4 wideouts for the Oilers. Touchdown, Houston. Curtis Duncan.
Keep bringing so many people at you, you know. They got Gibbons, they got Duncan, they got Haywood Jeffries, they got Drew Hill. In this case, right there at number 80, Curtis Duncan on a little slant versus man-to-man. You give Warren Moon that much time, and the result is touchdown.
Donnie Elder was just a step behind him. So Zendejas will add 1 more point to the scoring.
Bueno.
And the Oilers move out in front.
You know, I bought my Toyota Camry because 3 separate mechanics, Fred, Jeff, and Kevin, told me the Camry was a really reliable car.
Now he waves when he goes by the shop, but he doesn't stop.
Can't believe you told him to buy such a reliable car.
They were right. My Camry's been really dependable.
I didn't tell him to buy one. I said they were reliable. You did too.
He'll never see me again.
No use crying over spilled milk.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas. Radio Shack sale-priced cordless phone, this year's most popular Christmas gift.
Hi, Grandma.
It's for you.
Hi.
It goes from room to room, has a handy redial button, and it's on sale for just $59.95. The sale-priced portable cordless phone.
It's for you.
Hi.
It's a great gift idea.
Sure. It's for you.
For me? It's for me.
The cordless phone, on sale now at Radio Shack, the technology store.
This is it. The game is about to start.
Less filling. Tastes great.
Call it.
It's a nickel. No, a quarter.
Herrera kicks off. just a little deep.
I'll throw it to Dwight.
Yeah, he's got hands like glue. Jones drops back. Touchdown! Taste Great! If Taste Great can hang on to this lead, they get the case of Miller Lite and go to the Super Bowl.
We need that secret weapon.
Don't worry, we're going to get that case.
It was the battle of the field goal kickers early in the game. Tony Zendejas and Donald Igwe-Buike tying it up at 3 apiece. But from that point on, it's been Warren Moon and his wide receivers, and the Oilers are out in front of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the score of 20-3. And Ken Stabler, I guess the question is, what has Warren Moon found soft in that Tampa defense?
Well, as we said, talking with him yesterday, they thought they could do business in the middle of the field versus a zone, which they have. And then, of course, down in the scoring territory, they get to man-to-man coverage. Tampa Bay's corners are really having a lot of problems staying with Duncan, Hill, Givens and company.
No question about that. And Vinny Testaverde, of course, trying to get things uncorked for Tampa and not able to capitalize on whatever the defensive Oilers are not giving to him.
I think it's been a situation they really haven't been able to establish any one particular thing. They've run the ball a little bit here, they've thrown the ball a little bit here, and they've never really gotten any continuity going with their offense.
Zendejas with his third kickoff, this one deep in the end zone, and Stamps unable to return this one. So Zendejas with the strong leg. Tampa will start from its own 20.
Some people see shaving as something you do for 3 minutes a day. At Braun, we see it as something you do for a lifetime. And we think you should make the best of it. The Braun Shaver, with its 3 shaving positions. Designed for those who choose to make a virtue out of necessity. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
Tampa first and 10 from its own 20 with 1:24 remaining in the first half. And Testaverde drills a first down pass to his favorite target, Mark Carrier.
They're going to get into their hurry-up offense right now. Benny will come up to the line, look it over, call the audible play. It's called kind of a check with me. Just check with me at the line of scrimmage.
From the 35. Complete to Wilder out of the backfield for yet another first down. This one across the 45 to about the 47.
Always expect zones in this type situation, JB, as they spend the timeout. Always expect a zone-type coverages when you're ahead like this, so you'll be throwing the ball underneath as he did there to Wilder.
Snake, I heard you talk about a check with me. Help define that football terminology.
Check with me is a situation where you'll go in the huddle and you will call a formation in the huddle and say, check with me at the line of scrimmage. I'll give you the play up there. Check with me.
Hit it, boys.
Isn't there someone you know who could use a skill twist this Christmas? The skill twist. The practical gift for practically anybody.
Individuals performing together. Listening, arranging, building. At Northwest, our performance is helping you do business. Getting you wherever you need to go on time. Creating new ways to make things work for you. Because our job is helping you do yours.
Should take a look at the dome here in the Astrodome. Some 208 feet above the playing field. And do you know, Snake, if in fact you were to build a building inside of this dome, it will be 18 stories high?
Here's one for you. Did you know the first baseball game played in here that Mickey Mantle hit the first home run in the Astrodome?
That I did not.
Mickey Mantle hit the first home run. It's still going.
And for those who may not know about Kenny Stabler's background, baseball was his first love.
That's why I played football.
We were checking that Atlanta and Minnesota score earlier, and I tell you, I'm sure the Vikings had no idea what they were going in against with Jim Hannafin, because last week we did the Atlanta game, and he just opened things up wide open.
Did a lot of different things. He had nothing to lose. Interim coach who is not going to be hired back according to ownership in Atlanta. So you never know what to expect from Atlanta these days.
Under a minute, 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Tampa 1st and 10 from the 48. Testaverde throws it complete to Ron Hall inside the 40. That'll be enough for the first down by a cushion of 2 yards.
That's that deep zone, that prevent type zone late in the half that gives up a lot of yardage underneath.
Testaverde throws it nearly picked off by Sean Jones. And Jones is one big target at 6'6", 290 in all blue.
Pass rushing specialist, and he can go after it. You give him that ball, he can run too. That would have been something. Here's that zone he's going to look at right now. It's very, very deep. You see there's a lot of people backed up, not many people underneath. I think Sean Jones gets shielded behind some of Vinny's own players and really didn't see him.
Tampa Bay with 2 timeouts remaining, 26 seconds remaining. Sean Jones, the former LA Raider, on 2nd and 10. Bill in motion. Incomplete, intended receiver Bruce Hill, and Hill wanted pass interference. Probably more frustration than anything, as Steve Brown was right on top of him.
Well, here's what we've been looking at, JB. Look how deep these people are. Safeties. Look at those 2 safeties sitting way back there. That's not to give up the big play. Vulnerable areas right where Tampa Bay tries to hit it. You run everybody off and try to bring somebody underneath in the middle of the field. That time played good by the safeties.
3rd and 10 with 21 seconds remaining in the half. Tampa trailing by 17. Vinny runs it. And is not going to be enough for the first down, as Tampa burns off one more timeout, leaving them with 1. And Snake, I'm always talking so much about that which you've been preaching to some of these young quarterbacks. Learn how to slide.
Yeah, I don't think Vinny's slide technique is the best in the league by any means. He needs to get down and protect himself when you get up in there with all those linebackers. Now they'll come off the sidelines and decide what they're going to do. It's going to be short, fourth down, maybe 1, maybe 2 yards.
And don't forget, coming up at the halfway point of this contest, the NFL Today halftime show. Brent and Irv in the studio with all the scores and highlights, and they'll put things in focus with respect to playoff implications as we take a look at Stoneface. Not that one there.
Could be.
Who's actually looking at Stoneface.
There's Stoneface.
Donald Igwe-Buike will attempt a 48-yard field goal. And in this range, he's 4 of 8 on the year. He's actually better if they moved it back a couple of yards. He's 2 of 3 from 50+. Chris Moore holding. No good. And the frustration for Donald Igwe-Buike continues. Says he knows that his problems right now are strictly mental.
They are mental, you know. He's heard from the coaching staff about the shortness of his kickoffs, and I think that has bothered him mentally. He's just not swinging the ball, and I think the best thing for Donald Igwe-Buike would be just to leave him alone, let him kick his way out of it.
Says what he plans on doing when the season is over is heading back to Nigeria for a couple of months just to clear his head and play some soccer and visit with the family.
I still think that you have to believe that he is one of the better place kickers in the league, huh?
No question about it. So Houston will just run out the clock to end the first half. Jerry Glanville's troops have played very nicely in the first half.
I think he has to be pleased. Warren Moon playing extremely well, throwing the ball outside to the wide receivers. They're using Rozier and Highsmith in various situations, and their defense has come up with the big plays. Special teams, they get a blocked punt, and they get an interception out of their defense with Dishman. So I think Jerry Glanville has to be pleased going into half.
And also the fact that his team has played relatively penalty-free football in the first half.
You come in expecting a team like this to be knocking people around out of bounds and stuff, but it has been basically penalty-free.
And Snake, I guess the point of this summary here again, Warren Moon uncorking first to the Hill, then to Duncan, finally finding the soft spots in that zone. And that's the end of the first half with Houston leading at 20.
CBS play, and the forecast is for snow throughout the remainder of the afternoon. This is the first game that the Giants have played the Broncos since Super Bowl 21. Believe me, the weather was a lot nicer on that day at Pasadena. Now, Denver has already wrapped up the AFC West title, and a win today gives them the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And as Dick Butkus reports, a big part of the Broncos' success story is riding on the back of rookie Bobby Humphrey, a first-round pick in the supplemental draft who has altered their offensive look for the better.
The right arm of John Elway has brought a great deal of success to the Denver Broncos. So much, in fact, that as we look back to the decade of the 80s, the Broncos are among the elite when it comes to winning percentage. When it comes to Super Bowls, however, Denver has come up empty. Opposing teams realize that when you stop Elway, you stop the Broncos.
If you look at every championship that's ever been won, there hasn't been a team that's won it that didn't have a running game and didn't have a defense that could stop the run.
Broncos today got the player they wanted in the supplemental draft. Denver selected Alabama running back Bobby Humphrey.
Denver's answer to the running game showed flashes of brilliance at the University of Alabama. But twice in his senior year, Humphrey broke his left foot. Given another year of eligibility, he decided to turn pro, despite the question raised by NFL scouts.
Was Bobby Humphrey's foot really healed? But I felt that, hey, if I can come in and, really buckle down and learn what to do and get me on the playing field, I was going to prove that, I can be Bobby Humphrey again.
The foot in question has been anything but a problem. Humphrey leads all AFC rookies in rushing and is just 72 yards shy of becoming the first Bronco rookie to record a 1,000-yard season. He's a major factor in Denver's success.
How has it been with Bobby versus, say, last year when you didn't have him?
Well, I think the key thing is people really have to concern themselves with our running game now and concern themselves with Bobby Humphrey, whereas last year they didn't have to worry about the running game. They just had their ears back and rushed me every time.
I feel like, hey, if I get the ball here on the 20-yard line, I might just bust an 80-yarder. And, I think about that every time I touch the football. Every given play, I think about something big is going to happen.
Growing up in Birmingham, Alabama, in the shadow of Legion Field, Humphrey almost did not get the chance to make his dream a reality.
I said in my heart, this poor little kid thinks he's going to be on national TV playing football. And I knew he wasn't because I knew I wasn't going to let him play.
I was playing the trumpet, and she wanted me to be in the band, and that's what she wanted me to do because she was so, afraid that I would get injured.
If I find out you playing football anyway up to that school, you tell those coaches that I am coming up there and they're going to have some trouble out of me because I do not want you on that football team.
Mom now accepts her son's profession, but in her heart, football's gain is music's loss.
I wish somebody had tossed him a trumpet instead of football. He'd have been better off,
Just out of curiosity, let me hear you play that.
What do you think?
I think you made the right decision, buddy. Stick with football.
I think so, too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Irv, what about the Giants? They've been in a slump lately.
Well, I guess one of the biggest problems is the fact that their offensive line does a better job run blocking than they do pass blocking. When they're third and long, Phil Simms has problems.
Maybe they like the snow today.
I hope so.
All right, let's send you back to the stadium of the game you're watching on CBS.
Halftime here back at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, and the Oilers with a comfortable 17-point margin over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 20-3. And here at halftime, some ceremonies taking place recognizing the dream team as you look at Elvin Bethea, defensive player formerly with the Oilers, and certainly the team captain.
Team captain played with Elvin a few years, played with him in 1980, 81, and just really the consummate professional, great pass rusher, team captain, as you say, and first-class guy.
Does it really bring back memories for you, Snake? I mean, you had a quick stint through here with the Houston Oilers and Earl Campbell.
Oh, you watch it. You can see guys like Earl Campbell and guys like Elvin Bethea and Robert Brazil and all those great teams. It brings back a lot of memories. And playing for Bum Phillips here was an awful lot of fun. And we had some exciting teams. Went to the playoffs in 1980, and it does bring back a lot of good memories.
And again, by way of summary, this dream team was voted on by the Houston fans the dream team of 30 years, and only 3 of the current Oilers made that: Ray Childress, Warren Moon, and of course Mike Munchak. And hey, talk about carrying on from past to current activity. The Oilers are doing extremely well thus far. Snake, how do you size up what the Oilers have done in the first half?
Well, I think the bottom line right now, JB, is the fact that the special teams blocked the punt, resulted in points, and I think the other thing is the interception. The interception resulted in points, and in there you have a 23 game. So not playing as solid on the Tampa Bay side as, say, Houston is.
All right, and CBS Sports coverage of National Football League football will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Deja vu.
You just bought that.
Somebody stole it.
I set down the package to help Megan, and when I turned around, it was gone.
Is it gone, Daddy?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Didn't you use American Express?
You mean that's it? It's automatic?
Whatever you buy with the American Express card is covered, Mr. Wilcox. Even gifts.
Oh, we were counting on that.
Lost, stolen, or damaged, having a way to protect the things you buy.
You want to start small, but think tall. That's your plan with computers that can grow along with you. How are you going to do it? Well, you're going to PS to it with the IBM PS2. You want to network up, network down, share information with other towns. In your business, you got a mission to rise above the competition. How are you going to do it? I'll tell you, you're going to PS to it. The solution is IBM.
After Mrs. Amelia's husband died,
there's a new symbol for quality in America. Your Buick dealers got it. Nobody but Buick can say LeSabre is the most trouble-free American automobile. This according to the 1989 J.D. Power & Associates initial quality survey. The 1990 Buick LeSabre, new front and rear appointments, beautiful trouble-free value. Buy LeSabre at your nearest Florida Buick dealer. Get giant cashbacks now.
Hey, party people! I got some more party time tips for you from Extra Gold Draft. First, never party with anything less than a full tilt taste of Extra Gold. This is some serious beer. Another tip, the next time your buddy sets you up with a blind date, try not to look too surprised the first time you see her. Betty, right? I'm Tom. She likes me.
Ask for an extra. Go for the full tilt taste.
It's this cologne.
Coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? AT&T, the right choice. And by Tox, the premium champagne.
Overcast here in Houston, and certainly it's been that way for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Overcast indeed as they trail the Houston Oilers by 17 points. And for those diehard football fans who keep track of all kinds of memorabilia.
Who are those masked men?
The more important one on the right side of your screen, Ken Stabler. It's amazing how those people still think, some people think that it's actually James Brown, the football player, or the one that's serving a little time right now.
Looking mighty dapper there, buddy.
Kenny Stabler, indeed. Snake, we talked a little bit about the Bucs and their difficulties in the first half. What do you think Ray Perkins might have been talking with his troops about, particularly given that he wants to try and open things up a bit more the last 3 games?
You know, I don't really think that you go in and you change an awful lot of things, because I think you work on the things that you're going to do during the course of the year, the things that you're going to work on next year. You don't go in and change a lot of things just because it's your last 3 games of the year. I just think you go in and you say, listen, we're not executing very well. We've got to hit the receivers when they're open. We've got to play defense. And on special teams, we've got to play solid special teams. Can't have the block punts. You don't make many wholesale changes. Just execute better.
Well, Mark Carrier certainly did have a fine first half. And as we mentioned before, coming into today's game, he was 121 yards shy of breaking Kevin House's reception yard mark.
Number 40, Dennis Miller, and number 24, Sylvester Mann.
Stay in touch.
So Tony Zendejas will kick off for the Oilers. A high short one. And this one goes out of bounds over near the 11-yard line.
What? There's the mojo. There's the mojo. That guy's name is Bill Lackey. He's part of the equipment people here in Houston, and here's his claim to fame right here. Go get the kickoff tee, and he usually ends up with a nice flip or a slide, or I think he's not going to give it to him today. He just
says he's getting a little old.
Getting a little old for the flip and the roll. Bill Lackey, great guy.
You would think with all of that running that he might be able to drop a few pounds, huh? So the Buccaneers will start at their own 35, trailing by 17 to the Oilers. And Wilder on the ground, getting it up near the 37, 38, called it a 3-yard run. James Wilder, we've talked a lot about him this season in terms of how he's kept his attitude in check, trying to help the team in whatever fashion possible.
Great career down in Tampa and has carried the team offensively with his running and pass receiving, and has really fit into the role of backup special teams player. He realizes they've got a good group of young backs playing now.
2nd and 7. Ball in motion. Wilder again. And Wilder takes it up to the 42 for a gain of 4. That will bring up a 3rd and 3 situation.
Well, they sent the tight end that time. They sent Hall in motion. They bring him back in. He traps Ray Childress, the defensive end, coming in. Good job. That's a type situation that you never know where the block is coming from. That time, good yardage from it.
Ray Perkins had his team opening up with an awful lot of passes in the first half, and it looks thus far he's trying to now get the ground game established, maybe to open up the passing game.
I think so. Once you get that running game going, then it gives you the ability on short yardage situations to do some play passing, play action.
Wilder and Stamps to the back. Stamps in motion. Testaverde complete to Bruce Hill for the first down across midfield to the 48-yard line, a 10-yard pickup.
Well, a nice job of Bruce Hill on slanting on the inside, bottom of your screen. You're going to see Bruce Hill taking a slant, going into the inside. Then he does a nice job of holding the ball right there to let him clear, to let Hill clear right in there, and then hits him in the numbers with it.
So Tampa is at the 48 of the Houston Oilers. Out of the I formation. Wilder, the up back. This is Stamps. Stamps busts through the hole and gets down to the 40. An 8-yard scamper by Sylvester Stamps. Bubba McDowell on a stop.
You know, Sylvester Stamps, in speaking with him this week, wanted to play more on the early downs, on the first and the second downs. Usually he is brought in on third down situations, and they spread him out and throw the ball to him. Young man wants to play on first down, where he can run the ball in there, do a little play action passing with him.
Said you can keep the defense off strides that way. 2nd and 2. Out of the I left. Stamps. In reverse. Flea flicker attempt. Testaverde throws it to Wilder. And Wilder is roped down at midfield. Give the credit to Bubba McDowell. So a loss of 10 on the play.
Not exactly the way you would draw it up. What they're trying to do here is they're going to do the reverse as they did earlier. There's the pitch back to Stamps. Here comes Ray Childress, 79, sees it all the way, pops him just about at the exchange, and then Vinny's going to make a pass out of it, looking for somebody. Hill standing around looking for somebody. He finds Wilder on the other side of the field all by himself, and they avoid a bad play almost back to the line of scrimmage.
An understatement to say not the way they drew it up. 3rd and 12. Testaverde. And he runs for the first down. So Vinny Testaverde taking things into his own hands. Still hasn't learned how to slide yet, but nonetheless, he runs for the first down.
Well, he does a good job of getting up in there and getting the first down, but you'd like to see Vinny maybe take a little better care of himself, protect himself a little bit, put that ball away, get down, slide, or get out of bounds, and try to protect yourself. Here's what we're talking about right here. Watch how straight up he's running. Watch where he's got the ball, swinging it out at his side. Could cause a fumble. He's running straight up, and here come all those people. Get down.
1st and 10 at the 37 of Houston. Stamps in motion. Going for Hill, incomplete, and Bruce Hill is leveled by Steve Brown, and flags are thrown everywhere. Big late hit.
I don't know if it's late or if it's a club to the head, you know, maybe a little unnecessary.
The ball certainly appeared to be out of reach. And that will go against Steve Brown. Steve Brown looking up to check the replay.
First down.
Well, you missed the first half of what Tom Dooley had to say, but obviously against Steve Brown.
Well, there's the ball in the air, and the ball is not catchable, and here's the club. There's a right hand up around the face, and certainly unnecessary roughness.
Steve Brown, for those Miami Vice fans, certainly already know that his sister, Olivia Brown, actress in that series. Tate and Wilder the backs on 1st and 10 from the 22. Testaverde throws it incomplete. The intended receiver that time was Ron Hall.
You know, they're getting good up the field pressure on Benny. You notice they're forcing him to move around with the ball, but they're forcing him to move in the middle of the field, not letting him get outside. And when a quarterback gets outside is when he can do the most damage. They're forcing Benny to move up in the pocket, making him run down the field.
Second and 10 from the 22. 10:27 remaining in the third. On the ground to Stamps. Stamps inside the 20 to the 18. Called it a gain of 4. That will bring up a 3rd and 6. This has been a particularly problemsome quarter for the Buccaneers. Only 32 points scored in the third quarter this season.
Hey, you would think that the third quarter would be a better scoring quarter for most teams because you're coming out the second half and you're making your adjustments and hopefully correcting the mistakes that you made first half.
Willie Drury and Danny Peoples come on for the 4 wide receiver package for the Buccaneers. 3rd and 6 from the 18. And it's thrown complete for the first down near the 10-yard line to Mark Carrier.
Well, the short yardage, the 3rd and 6 situation, you expect the man-to-man type coverage. He gets the man-to-man coverage that he wants, and then it's just a matter of our guy beating your guy. There goes Carrier in there for the slant. Well-thrown ball for the first down.
Mark Carrier, 7 receptions for 105 yards. And he needs 16 more to tie the record set by Kevin House for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10 from the 11. 8:52 remaining in the third. Wilder bowling straight ahead. Take a look at Jerry Glanville. Mark Carrier, with the year he's had, could become the first All-Pro since 1985. See those who have made it. And 2nd and 8, complete to Wilder. And Wilder down near the 5. 4-yard pickup, stopped by Al Smith.
Houston's defense is really tough down in this part of the field. They're really not giving Tampa Bay anything at all. They're forcing them to dump the ball off. When they run the ball, they've stuffed the run. You look at this situation, Testaverde has probably run for more yards than the backs have today because they forced him out of the pocket. They're playing good defense when they get down inside the 15, 20-yard line.
Well, to embellish that point, last week against Pittsburgh, the Oilers had 2 goal line stands. that resulted in field goals. This is a 3rd and 5 for the Bucs. Touchdown, Tampa Bay, Willie Drury. So Willie Drury comes back home and scores against his old teammates.
Again, forcing Vinny up into the middle of the pocket. The good outside pressure. You see Childress, 79, working on Taylor. He steps up in. Good job of adjusting to the ball by Drury. The ball thrown somewhat behind him. There's Vinny. Vinny stepping up. Ball thrown behind Drury. Nice adjustment for the touchdown.
Donald Igwe-Buike comes on with the point after as Vinny Testaverde throws his 19th touchdown pass of the year. That one to the ex-Oiler, Willie Drury.
I couldn't imagine owning anything but a pickup. And from what I know about hauling stuff, I couldn't imagine owning anything but a big Ford. You see, this Ford's got a longer, deeper box that can handle a bigger payload than any Chevy its size.
The big Ford pickup. #1 for all the right reasons.
Maybe that's why more folks drive Fords than any other truck.
The best-built American trucks are built Ford tough.
Did you know that now almost any size business can save with AT&T? If your business is spending as little as $50 a month in long distance, you can save 10 to 28% or more with the new AT&T Pro Watts. It works over your regular telephone lines, and you automatically get bigger and bigger discounts. The more you spend, the bigger the discounts. Whether you're spending $50 a month up to $5,000 a month, we have the one plan for you. Call us. We'll even waive the sign-up fee. Pro Watts, another AT&T advantage.
When you have these, why would you need a Black & Decker Power Ratchet? Because it's faster, easier, and works in lots of places manual wrenches can't. The Black & Decker Power Ratchet. It's really turning a lot of heads. Tots, the premium champagne.
Tampa Bay narrowing the deficit to 20-10 with 7:23 remaining in the third. Snake, what do we have coming up next week?
CBS Sports begins a new season of college basketball coverage next Saturday, live from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, as Dean Smith and his North Carolina Tar Heels, off to a disappointing 4-4 start, host the young and determined DePaul Blue Demons. That's next Saturday on CBS Sports.
As we kick off the NCAA season here, and you saw a shot of Jackie Walker, the Tampa Bay Bucs tight end, who actually played basketball in high school and college, played 3 years for Jackson State University, and is the best basketball player on this Bucs team in off-season play. He's the kind of guy, he's so big and strong, he hurts you just running down the court.
Just watching him run.
Donald Igwe-Buike kicking off for the Buccaneers. And a line drive, and is taken by the up man, Bob Morosco. And so the kickoff troubles for Iggy continue.
Well, there's part of the problem right there. You can tell that he's pressing, you know, that the coaching staff has mentioned to him that the kickoffs really haven't been as deep as they would like, and as a result, it's bothered him mentally. There you see, he kicks a line drive, and Houston gets field position at their own 37.
And as he walked by Ray Perkins, no conversation at all. Stoneface, Igwe-Buike, good friend of Christian Okoye. Strong running back from the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, and they're both from the same hometown of Enugu. And Rozier keeping it on the ground. You notice how some of those names, those foreign names, you have to say real fast in case you mispronounce them. Who knows?
Don't worry, I'm not going to touch it.
But that is the correct name. The Enugu Rangers, a soccer team he played for. From the Houston Astrodome, near capacity crowd on hand, watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers battle the Houston Oilers. Oilers sitting atop the AFC Central Division, leading it 20-10. Ray Perkins trying to get his troops going strong here. Warren Moon scrambling. And there's an experienced quarterback who knows how to dive away from trouble.
Exactly. That's the ticket right there. If you don't take that beating, you're too valuable a commodity to your team to go out and get hurt when you have an opportunity to get into the playoffs, as Houston very well does. Take care of yourself.
Boy, Detroit leading the Bears 17-10. Well, that Lions team is really going to be a team to be heard from.
Lost the Bears right there, and the Bears are history as far as the playoffs are concerned.
Same with Washington trailing San Diego. 3rd and 4. Dime defensive package in for the Bucks. Batted down by Winston Moss. So an alert play by Winston Moss.
Winston Moss, one of the players that Ray Perkins has been touting as a Pro Bowl type player, has kept Broderick Thomas on the bench with his play. There you see him getting the pressure, getting his hands up. If you can't get pressure all the way on the quarterback, get your hands up. He does, gets a hand on the ball.
And the Oilers are forced into their first punting situation of the afternoon thanks to that batted down pass by Winston Moss. Greg Montgomery on to punt for the Oilers. And Willie Drury back for the Buccaneers, hoping to excite his hometown fans. And Montgomery gets a beauty away as he leads the NFL in punting average. And Drury has to take it, fair catching it at the 19. Hang time of 4-3 on that 37-yard punt. Tampa trailing by 10.
The Black & Decker Workmate. About all it can help you do is clean up. But at least it gets out of your way. The Black & Decker Workmate.
The designers of the Ford Festiva gave it more interior room than this Toyota Tercel. If you find this fact somewhat less than riveting, perhaps you would be more interested to learn that the Ford Festiva also has more interior room than this BMW 635 CSI. Ford Festiva. At just $63.19, you'll really be surprised when you drive it.
See your dealer now for low financing or special savings on 1990 Ford Festiva.
In July 1988, some said it was luck. In February 1989, some said it was a fluke. In April 1989, some said it was coincidence. In November 1989, some said, get me their phone number. Prudential Bates Securities. Rock solid. Market wise.
Being a part of the U.S. Armed Forces is an experience you can be proud of.
Opportunity is waiting for you in the U.S. Armed Forces.
The duel in Denver. The Giants, fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, battled the AFC West champion Broncos. And interconference clash of Titans today.
A lot of close friends on these two teams, and there's one friendship right there.
Yeah, ex-roommates at the University of Miami. One a linebacker, Winston Moss, 58, Tampa Bay, running back 32, Highsmith. And Highsmith said he knows Winston's going to be laying for him today. He's going to put a good shot on him, so he's going to keep both eyes on him today.
Winston Moss says he wants to break a few backs himself. Testaverde throws complete over the middle for an 8-yard gain to Bruce Hill.
You know, you look at this, JB, and you watch the way that Tampa Bay is throwing the ball, and they're dumping it over the middle an awful lot to tight end and running backs. In my mind, I think that they have to spread things out and throw the ball down the field some. Throw those 17, 18, 20-yard cuts into the middle of the field and challenge the defense.
And check that. That was Ron Hall, the tight end, on that reception. James Wilder, the lone back. 2nd and 2. Harry Swain is in at right tackle. And first down run, 5 yards. There's Harry Swain, and Coach Perkins said that he would in fact see a lot of playing time the remaining 3 games. 6'5", 270. Said he wants Swain to come in at 300 pounds next year.
Wanted him 300 pounds next year. Everybody going to those huge offensive linemen. And The things he likes about Harry Swain, he said he's an extremely smart football player, but he likes his feet. He's got those good, quick feet, just like Art Shell had when I played with him at Oakland. The good, quick feet to get back in pass protection, drive off on the run blocks.
Third-year player out of Rutgers. On 1st and 10, Testaverde scrambling, shovels it forward to Wilder, and Wilder runs for the first down plus a whole lot more. So Vinny with the second improvisational move, if you will.
Well, you know, you have to give him credit. He does have the vision and the awareness to see people, to know where people are located. Here they flush him out, and he has a presence to find number 32. I think that's Wilder. Yes, there comes Wilder through there for the first down.
15-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10, ball at the 46. Clock ticking, 3:49 and counting remaining in the third. Wilder again, the lone back. And this is Wilder pulling the head up to about the 49. There's the time remaining in the third period, 3:24 and counting. You saw James Wilder lean forward that time to hear what Vinny was calling, and essentially it looked like Vinny was saying, it's your number.
Yeah, be ready. I'm going to give it to you. Get noisy. Can't get noisy here in the House of Pain when these people get fired up.
And there's Kurt Jarvis, who went out with a sprained knee. The second play of the game, obviously will not see any action the rest of the way. 2nd and 8. And Vinny gets it away. Bruce Hill had it and dropped it. And bearing down on him was Johnny Meads.
Johnny Meads forcing Testaverde out of here. There you see Testaverde running, and here he comes from behind him. There comes Johnny Meads bearing down on him. Gets rid of it. Ball should have been caught right there. Steve Brown, number 24, making the play.
Johnny Meads, of course, last week had a career-high 3 sacks, and boy, he was smelling like a hungry dog today. Tampa Bay, 7 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. This is a 3rd and 8. And Vinny looks to be close to the first down, maybe about a half-yard shy. We'll see where they mark it. And I tell you, there's no faster running than when you're running scared. And Sean Jones, all 6'6", 290 of them, was right on top of Testaverde.
I can guarantee you, running out of sheer self-preservation, you know, you come scrambling out of there, and you know that ball's going to draw a crowd. Looks like he may have this one. Depends on the spot, as you said.
And this one will be measured. The ex-quarterback, Ken Stabler, is saying it should be a first down. And he hasn't been wrong very much this year. Oh! Microscopic. Microscopic. You can be okay for that one from up here.
Well, they're going to go for it. You see them bringing in their 2 tight end. You see Jackie Walker, 85, and William Harris, number 86, and their big backs, William Howard, 43, and Tate, number 34. They're big people. They're hanging up in there and going for it.
Jumbo package.
The jumbo.
4th and a couple of inches. And keep in mind, the last time they tried that, they had a delay of game penalty because the 30-second clock is not working. So let's see what happens here. Lawrence Tate goes up in the air, is met in midair, but maybe enough for the first down.
You can hear it up here in the booth. Really popping out there.
I tell you, that really takes some kind of mindset to say, I'm going to meet him in midair.
Yeah. I think those linebackers enjoy it. I think they absolutely love to do that.
Well, Lawrence Tate got the first down. And a couple of times this year, I know we were keeping track of the number of leaps.
Well, here it is right here, just what we talked about, up and over. Straight ahead drive blocking with 3 tight ends in there. There's a lead back, Howard. Behind him is Tate. Tate jumps, and here come the blue shirts. There's Johnson, number 22, coming up there and meeting him, but forward progress is for the first down.
Ball at the 44. First and 10. Bruce Hill in motion. And Tate picks up 81. Stopped by John Grimsley. A little help from Steve Brown.
Well, you see right there, this drive, 9 plays, but only 38 yards. They really haven't moved the ball that far. Defense is playing extremely well, making them work for everything they get. Tampa Bay really not challenging Houston's defense, really not throwing the ball down the field.
Second and 8. 1:05 remaining in the third. Tampa trailing by 10. And Testaverde throws it away as he was getting pressure from Johnny Means, Eric Fayers, and company.
Well, they try to do it out of a play pass. They've been running out of the I formation some. They get in the I formation. They do the play pass, but they've been putting that kind of pressure on Vinny most of the day, really not getting to him, but making him throw the ball away, making him throw the ball before he would like.
Well, as you and I noted at the top of the second half here, Tampa Bay doing a better job of running it, trying to set up the passing game. 3rd and 8 from the 42. Drop. Sean Jones. Sack number 4 of the year for the ex-Raider.
Well, it doesn't matter what you have called. Right side of your screen, working on Paul Gruber, a very good offensive tackle, and Sean Jones goes by him like he's tied. If you can't protect your quarterback, you're going to have trouble moving the football.
Sean Jones, a martial arts practitioner, and a very good one at that. Hard to believe somebody 6'6", 6'7", 290 needs to practice the martial arts. Chris Moore has a punt partially blocked, and it only goes across midfield. Blocked.
Eugene Seals, number 53, gets the penetration for the blocked punt. Now we've got a little extracurricular introducing each other out there.
Talking about what they're going to do after the game.
This will be better than Leonard and Duran.
A lot more action.
Here it is right here. Number 53, right side of your screen, number 51. That's Broderick Thomas, number 51. Really doesn't do a very good job on punt protection. As a result, blocked. Chris Moore taking the steps, anticipating good protection. There's number 53, Seals for the blocked punt.
Filtered, never heat pasteurized, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth, real draft beer taste, the world is a very cool place. So tap into the cold. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
It's 11:35, and Roseanne Horn is learning all about her antifreeze. The hard way. Don't push your luck. Guarantee it with Advanced Formula Prestone.
Come on, answer.
Now, the way you vacuum your rug can be the way you vacuum your bug. But only with the powerful new Car Vac Power Brush from Black & Decker. It's the first vacuum that's at home in your car.
Do I look like some little old lady who only drives to church on Sunday? I know what matters in a truck. I know this Ranger XLT has more room up here. And more features than I'd get on the same kind of Toyota or Chevy. And it's priced lower, too.
Ford Ranger, #1, for all the right reasons.
I mean, I didn't buy the best-selling compact truck in America by mistake.
The best-built American trucks are built Ford tough.
of North Carolina. The season premiere of college basketball on CBS Sports next Saturday.
Well, you see Ray Perkins talking to his punter right there, Chris Moore. He really doesn't look to be upset. Maybe something like, listen, anticipate that big rush. They've been getting heat on you all day. Maybe cut your steps down a little bit, get it off a little quicker.
A little pat on the rear, and I'm sure that's something that Donald Igwe-Buike could use a little of himself.
No doubt.
26 seconds remaining in the third quarter. First and 10 for the Oilers. Alan Pinkett, the ball carrier. Pinkett down to about the 47, gain of maybe 2. Chris Moore, of course, former player for Ray Perkins at Alabama. As you look at the clock winding down, third quarter will end.
Only had 3 punts blocked in his career, and he has 2 of them today. Tampa Bay seems to have come out playing much better this time. At the end of the third quarter. That's the end of the third quarter with the score: Houston 20, Tampa Bay 10.
Well, we can never agree on a restaurant, right?
Hey, I ordered already. I found us a great wine.
Oh, a decision maker. Oh, this is wonderful wine. I had this at David's. I served this at my place. It was a big hit.
You guys, I was hoping you hadn't tried it yet.
Oh, come on. Look, we finally found something we all agree on, you know? I mean, when was the last time that happened?
Ernest and Julio Gallo invite you to try White Grenache. It will change the way you think about Gallo.
Imagine a world beneath the sea with an enchanted McDonald's of pure fantasy, where the Little Mermaid's friend Sebastian and Flounder the fish come to life to grant your holiday wish.
Buy a $5 book of McDonald's gift certificates and get a free plush ornament, either Flounder or Sebastian.
I always knew I'd be famous.
From the all-new Disney animated feature, The Little Mermaid, now in theaters everywhere.
So come to McDonald's, hurry along, like a true fantasy. It's here then, to go on. Your holiday place, McDonald's.
4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
You know the difference between the AC Delco parts that go into race cars and the ones that go into your car? There isn't any. If you want to win, run with a winner.
Roderick Thomas, Bucks #1 draft choice, went to high school here at Madison High School, powerful football school. Did a fair amount of talking coming into today's game, but hey, Snake, if you're going to talk, you got to back it up with some action.
Well, you come in as a young player, as a rookie. If you're gonna talk, you've got to get it done. That particular situation didn't get it done on special teams. His man blocks the punt.
First and 10. And Highsmith runs for the first down inside the 25.
Well, there's one of the guys who wants to carry the ball more, and I think keeping him happy long term is important to this offense. You got to put the ball in his hands some, and he expressed that to us yesterday, that he didn't know how long he would be patient but not carrying the ball an awful lot. He said he looks around the league and sees the success that a lot of the other running backs are having, carrying the ball 20, 25 times. He wants to part of that action.
And it was constructive frustration that he was expressing.
Great attitude. He just wants to play, just wants to carry the ball. You have to like his attitude.
Over to Pinkett.
One of the things right there, JB, that makes them so tough. They'll run up in there with a 230-pound fullback in Highsmith and then swing the ball out to a little scat back like Pinkett. Causes an awful lot of problems for a defense. Here it is right here. Zone. Boone recognizes it. Flips it out there. Good call. Good play.
8 yards gained on the pass play. Bring up a 2nd and 2.
They just give you an awful lot of looks from a lot of different personnel.
Alan Pinkett, former Notre Dame football player in the Washington, D.C. area. Rozier and Highsmith are the backs. 2nd and 2, ball at the 16 of Tampa. And Bob Marasco Barasco, at least by the expression on his face, appeared to be the guilty party.
I think they caught him. I think he understood it. Little jump, little premature with his start.
Seven offense. Second down.
Well, now it looked like he wanted to put that one on Bruce Davis. Bob Barasco was right next to him, and I'm sure Bob came over and said, "Hey, Bruce, will you take it for me?"
Yeah, how about taking this call? Kansas City, Green Bay needs to win badly. Kansas City playing that great defense. And of course, that run and shoot down in Detroit is making it awfully tough on the Bears.
And Bob Galliano is at the QB spot. And this is an important outcome here for the Houston Oilers. Of course, Cincinnati, one of the two division teams that the Oilers will be playing. Cleveland Browns play later on against the Colts. And Moon, under an intense rush, somehow gets away and picks up some yardage in the process. 5 to be exact. Boy, if they thought the veteran lost a little speed and savvy.
And he also knows where that sideline is located. That particular time, JB, they came with an all-out tight blitz, bringing linebackers after him, playing man-to-man type coverage. They did get to him, but the athletic ability of Warren Moon gets him out of trouble.
Sean Lee applying some serious heat that time. We saw that score with San Diego and Washington. Washington coming out on top by 2 late in that contest. Meeting of Dan Henning and Joe Gibbs. Mike Rozier gains plenty beyond the first down yardage. Well, let's go get an update on the Vikings and check in with Brent.
JB, here's the situation in the NFC Central. If it holds, the magic number for the Vikes will be 1. They have forced another defensive touchdown. Chris Dolman sets it up, and Tim Newton walks on in. So that one's easy for the Vikes. Elsewhere, the Packers continue to lose big. So after today, a Viking win or a Packer loss, and the Vikes win a division title. Back to JB.
All right, Brent. I think that's the best way to get into clarification for the NFC playoff and the AFC. Check up in New York.
That's right. They're all over it up there. They can tell you what's happening. Well, Warren Moon spends one of his timeouts, evidently not the right personnel in or the wrong defense.
And we'll return to the Astrodome after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
What? The game's on tonight. I've got to call my VCR. Emergency! Emergency! I've got to call my VCR.
VCR? Panasonic introduces a VCR you can actually program by phone. It even tells you what you programmed.
Recording is set for 9 p.m.
Yes!
And at home, simply use Panasonic barcode programming.
Emergency! I gotta call my VCR. Yeah,
Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
If you don't want to slow down on your way to the top. Because you know to make a beer as refreshing as a mountain stream, you gotta start with a mountain stream. When a night on the town might last all night, call for the taste preferred at better night spots. The silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
It's the right beer now.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Christmas is here. The Hess truck's back. Two sirens that together. Christmas is here. The Hess truck's back. Hey, those head-ins daylight shining. Hey, that ladder's really climbing. Got a secret coin bank and emergency flashers.
The new Hess fire truck, $8.99 at Hess stations.
The Hess truck's back.
Happy holidays from Hess.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller High Life. Buy that man a Miller. The best comes shining through. AC Delco, automotive parts that don't just fit, they match. And by Today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
The Astrodome. Construction completed in 1965, and in 1982, $42 million worth of improvement done to the Astrodome. to give it more of a contemporary look. 10,000 additional seats added. And, of course, the luxury boxes.
Oh, yeah, got to have the luxury boxes.
Big revenue producers. And right now, the team is performing well on the field. First and goal, ball at the 8. On the ground. Rozier. 3-yard run. And the Oilers are very cognizant of what they're playing for in today's game. Undisputed possession of first place. This is the first time in 13 years, after 13 games, they've been in first place by themselves, and certainly they would like to claim their first ever AFC Central title outright. They've got 2 games remaining against division opponents.
Yeah, very important games. They hang on here, then they go in against, of course, Cincinnati, tough team. Cleveland struggling a little bit.
Second and goal from the 5. It looks like the Bucs are offsides again as Rozier takes it down to about the 3. Roderick Thomas on the tackle with a little help from Rod Jones, but there is a flag on the play, a couple to be precise. Rozier running well prior to that carry, 11 carries for 70 yards. And that one against Big Golf. Houston Astrodome. Late autumn afternoon. Houston Oilers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it was a battle of the field goal kickers early. Warren Moon finding the soft spots in that zone defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Testaverde comes back to make it a 20-10 ball game.
Well, that's an unusual looking formation right there. They run an option off of it, and they get the fumble, and here come the Bucs.
And Reuben Davis recovered the fumble.
Well, this is a very unusual formation they come out with. Out to your left, in the left-hand side of your screen, you see number 78. That's an offensive lineman out there. That's Don Maggs. On your very far right, left-hand side of your screen, right out there, that's Don Maggs, an offensive lineman with 2 receivers. And all it is a smoke screen. It makes people direct their attention to that side. They run an option back to the other side. Bucs having nothing to do with it. Come up with the football.
Reuben Davis, big Reuben Davis, 285. Said he's seen some 300-pound plus days in his day. And first and 10 for the Buccaneers, 10:47 remaining in the contest, trailing by 10. Testaverde has it knocked down with all kinds of time.
Great pass protection. He really had something working out on the outside. If he didn't see him on the outside, he had number 83 working out there, Danny People, standing all alone. Then he's got to be able to see that. If they're going to do something, now's the time to do it. Down by a couple of scores, 10 minutes left, they've got to start making some plays. Great pass protection.
And Richard Byrd
71. Sorry,
being double teamed and gets to it. Brings up a second and 10 from the 23. 3 wideouts. Complete to Ron Hall, and Ron Hall takes it up to the 32.
John Grimsley, good fine inside linebacker, shaking his hand. He come in to assist with the tackle. Here's the throw out there. There's a throw out to the outside. Here comes number 59. Here comes Grimsley. See him holding his left hand.
Brings up a 3rd and 6. 4 wideouts in.
Designated pass rush people in.
Throws it complete to Mark Carrier for the first down, and Mark Carrier takes it up to the 44-yard line. So Mark Carrier continuing to have an excellent afternoon.
Mark Carrier found it. Here's Mark Carrier over here in the slot, right there in the slot. See Mark Carrier. Look at this big hole you're going to see right back there. That's where they're going to get into, in the middle of that deep, deep zone. Vinny finds him, throws the ball. Nice job of Carrier by not running backwards to try to gain more yards. Go forward, take what you can get.
Mark Carrier, 8 catches for 118 yards, 3 yards shy of tying Kevin House's mark of 121. Complete for the first down to Danny Peoples.
Well, it's throws like this from Vinny Testaverde that give you the idea that this kid can play once he starts understanding what he's doing. I think he's in a learning process right now. There's the play fake to Wilder. Now watch this rope. He just throws an absolute rope that is right on the numbers, right there. Sticks it right in there for the completion. Nice throw.
And for the math majors back in Tampa and elsewhere, who were wondering about that funny math that I just used, Mark Carrier looking to tie Kevin House at 1,076 yards. He was 121 shy coming in. Now he's only 3 shy of tying it.
Using some new math on him, are you?
First and 10 from the 36 of Houston. Testaverde with plenty of time, nearly intercepted by Bubba McDowell, who said jokingly to the newspapers today he was hoping that Vinny Testaverde would throw one his way.
He was sitting on that one all the way, you know, and that's the thing that Vinny has to learn. You know, you see the inconsistency. You see him sit back in the pocket and throw a strike for a nice gain, and then you see him throw the ball into too much coverage.
Bubba McDowell from Miami of Florida, one of only 8 drafted rookies in the NFL to start all 13 games this season, and he was a 3rd-round pick. And he's having himself one whale of a season.
One of the better young, strong safeties in the league, even as a rookie, like McDonald at Phoenix, Fulcher at Cincinnati.
2nd and 10. Hoopers in motion. Throwing to Mark Carrier. Did he catch it or trap it? Well, no signal, so they're going to go with the catch. And this may be a reviewable play. A 9-yard pickup on the play. The line judge was Jim Quirk, who came on top of the play and didn't give a signal for an incompletion.
Really did. And there's the throw. It's going to be a low throw. Vinny throws the ball down in there. Does he get his hands? I think he gets his hands under, cradles the ball nicely for a completion. Very fine receiver right there, having a Pro Bowl year, Mark Carrier.
Now, if this was Cincinnati, Boomer Esiason would have had the team at the huddle and run a play so quick before they had a chance to review it.
He'd have a half a dozen plays off by this time.
But not so here, as this play is being reviewed to determine if Mark Carrier caught that one or trapped it.
You be the judge. Here it is. Gets his hands underneath, cradle the ball up into the 2/8. I think that's complete.
Well, now, if the catch is good, that will be the new record for the Bucs. Yards receiving in a season by Mark Carrier will be 1,182. And it is, in fact, a new Buck record, 1,182 receiving yards by Mark Carrier. And it came on a review. He'll take it.
Going for a short yardage, 2 tight ends in, 3 tight ends in.
On 3rd and 1, this is Lars Tate. And we'll have to see where this one is marked. He might be a few inches shy of that first down marker.
Looks a little shy. I would look for the Bucs to certainly go for it in this situation in the game if it is shy.
And the clock is running, 7:16 and counting. Bucs trailing by 10, 20-10. And if the Bucs go for this one on 4th down, this will be the 3rd time the Bucs have gone for it on a 4th down situation. And the Bucs are going for it on 4th and inches. Tate leaps to the first down.
In behind Mark Cooper, 71. Rob Taylor, right tackle, 72. Good job of Lars Tate of finding the seam for the first down.
The man who some teasingly have nicknamed Leap left for the first down.
Here it is right here. It looks like he wants to leap. Then he sees a little seam in there, takes a few more steps and dives in for the first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers. Ball at the 24 of Houston. 6:32 remaining in the contest. Mark Carrier, Danny Peoples, the receivers. Pumps. And Testaverde tries to delicately place that one to Ron Hall, and it's incomplete.
I think you have to be really careful hanging the ball delicately, as you say, trying to spot the ball, trying to place the ball over in the middle of the field. There's an awful lot of people in there. That's the inconsistency that you see in Vinny Testaverde.
What would have been a better decision for him?
Better decision is to throw the ball away. Look at the blue shirts. Look at the blue shirts. Best decision down in here. Throw the ball away. Start over because it's early down. It was 1st down.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball marked at the 24. Stance and Wilder are the backs. Stance in motion. Testaverde pumps. Throws it complete. Touchdown to Ron Hall.
You know, it happens a lot, JB, when a quarterback starts to scramble, when he starts to move out of the pocket, then a lot of times the secondary people will relax a little bit. They will take their eyes off the receiver, look at the quarterback because they think he's going to run, and as a result, you get a wide open receiver. I think that's the case here. See, Vinny pulls the ball down, runs, everybody kind of freezes and reacts, leaves Hall wide open in the end zone. Good job by Vinny Testaverde.
So Donald Igwe-Buike on for the point after. And Tampa makes it a 3-point ball game, trailing by only 3, 20-17, thanks to that pass from Vinny Testaverde to Ron Hall. 6:12 remaining in the game.
You still have time to get in on Chevrolet's last great deals of the decade with cash back on our best sellers, Corsica, and on the roomy Lumina sedan.
And more great deals on select Geos, the new line of import-inspired cars.
And to make these deals better, GMAC offers a plan with no payments for 90 days.
So see your Chevrolet Geo dealer for great deals on select 89 and 90 models.
Before the last great deals of the decade are yesterday's news.
My baby don't care for shows. My baby don't care for clothes. My baby just cares for me.
Share the fantasy. Chanel number 5.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans, or had you forgotten?
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Levi's 506 jeans. Cut a little fuller in the thigh for extra comfort.
Well, Houston has done the job from a special teams standpoint, but they haven't been able to put any points on the scoreboard in the second half, and Vinny Testaverde wisely going to his hot target, Mark Carrier.
You almost get the sense, JB, that Houston has come out a little bit flat in the second half. They had the game pretty much in control going in 20-3 or so at the half, or 17-3 or whatever it happens to be, and they seem to be a little bit flat coming out. That combined with Tampa Bay coming out, playing with more intensity. They've had 3 drives. They've had 10, 11, and 12 play drives. 11 play drive in this last quarter, and they come out playing better, and as a result, we got a ball game.
Certainly Houston knows what's at stake in terms of what they have to do with these 3 remaining games, but do you think they may have been lulled to sleep because they had it so easy in the first half?
I think that's a very good point. I think they came out, took control of the game early, and maybe have relaxed, get a little bit tentative, and you can't do that in the NFL. Everybody gets a paycheck, and everybody can beat you on that given Sunday.
And Igwe-Buike kicks this one to the 5 as Lorenzo White takes it from his own 5, but roped from behind, and it looks to be Sherman Cocroft. And I guess the key play in that scoring drive for Tampa Bay was a turnover by Houston.
It was, and here's the formation right there. You look at the far left-hand side of your screen. That's 2 wide receivers and an offensive lineman. It's just a smoke screen because here's Moon comes down the line to his right. They run an option. They don't get the pitch correctly. They get the fumble from Rozier. They get the ball out 30-yard line. As a result, they go in for the touchdown, and we've got a game.
Tampa Bay 152 total yards in the second half. Houston only 47. Oilers 1st and 10 from their own 15. 6:03 remaining in the game. Rozier. Pushing his way up to around the 18, call it the 19, a gain of 4.
Important for Houston right here to turn it up a notch. They've got to get the ball out. It's a game of field position. Get the ball out, work on the 5 minutes and 45 seconds that are left, and get the ball out. If they do stop and you kick it, then you kick the ball the other end of the field and make it put Tampa Bay in a hole with not much time to work.
Jerry Glanville left Mike Rozier in the game. Rozier 12 carries for 74 yards. 2nd and 6. Moon, and a perfectly placed pass for Bob Morosco, who simply just didn't catch it.
Well thrown ball, you got to come up with that. That's the type thing that gets you out of trouble. That's turning it up a notch by catching that ball, getting the first down, and getting the ball out. Now they're in a 3rd and long situation. Gives Tampa Bay the ability to bring in their pass rush people and put pressure on your quarterback.
Now, oftentimes Warren Moon said in situations like this, he will, if the opportunity presents itself, go back to the receiver who dropped the ball to help build his confidence.
See right there, the time of possession is unbelievable. 17 minutes to 6, and Warren Moon has only thrown 3 passes for 8 yards in the second half.
3rd and 6. Under pressure. Throws it incomplete. The fans wanted a flag, thinking Bobby Futrell had interfered with Drew Hill.
They went after Warren Moon with some type of blitz that puts the heat. You see, there's a number, there's a 30 number. You can't distinguish exactly who it is. 36, Bobby Futrell going for the ball. They also had a defensive back right in Warren Moon's face, forcing them to kick the ball.
And Tampa Bay's Sean Lee comes limping off the field. Now, keep in mind, Sean Lee went in after the 2nd play of the game, replacing Kurt Jarvis, who went out with a knee injury. And Sean Lee is now being tended to over the sidelines. Greg Montgomery kicks this one away to Willie Drury, who takes it from the 29. And can only get back to the 35. A 52-yard punt, 4.8 hang time, a 6-yard return.
Pure, genuine, never heat pasteurized. A beer that's made unlike any other. Cold filtered to give you the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer. That's the mark of a great beer. So tap into the cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Every year it gets harder to keep the guys' hands off their gifts. That's because I always give them good-looking isotoner gloves. So I'm hiding them in my locker. Now they won't be grabbing these comfortable, great-fitting gloves. So take care of the hands that take care of you. But take care where you put the isotoner gloves. And now, Isotoner fans, there's a present for your feet. Isotoner's introducing slippers and socks for men. Catch them at fine stores everywhere.
We asked Mike Schmidt to help us show you why the new half-ton Chevy work truck is better than Ford. With more two-sided galvanized steel, more standard power, and a new Duragrill that's tougher than Ford.
The lawyers told me I couldn't hit a Ford like this. Know why? You know why. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
The duel in Denver. The Giants, fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, battle the AFC West champion Broncos and interconference clash of Titans today.
The playoff drive continues next Sunday here on CBS. It all gets started, of course, with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time. And then you'll see Green Bay against Chicago. Chicago right now losing to Detroit, so they could very well be out of it. Minnesota will take on Cleveland. Minnesota right now creating its own daylight, leading in the contest today, and Green Bay, of course, is losing to Kansas City. Then others of you will see Tampa Bay against Detroit. And the Bucs right now only 3 points down to the Oilers. The Bucs trying to play the part of spoilers. Nice euphonic ring.
5 minutes, 5 seconds left, of course. They've got to get something done right now, and I think it's a situation where you come out, spread things out, throw the ball around. I think you'll see a lot of zone coverages out of Houston Oilers, and I think you'll see Vinny dumping the ball off, look for his backs to be very effective.
Take a look around the league. Minnesota convincing Kansas City. Boy, have they been playing some good football this year.
Derek Thomas.
Detroit setting the table for next year. Seattle and Cincinnati. Of course, they have implications for the Oilers. All tied up in Buffalo. A must-win for New Orleans and a tight one. San Diego and Washington. 1st and 10. Ball from the 35. Testaverde, incomplete, intended receiver, Mark Carrier, but there's a flag back down in the backfield where Testaverde was. And this one will go against Houston. Sean Jones, a little too strong.
I think they're going to get Sean Jones for knocking Testaverde around back there after the ball's been released. They're really putting the pressure on. They know that they've got to throw the ball with not much time left. They've got their pass rush people. They bring linebackers from the outside. There's Sean Jones, number 96, coming in with the black shoes right there. Ball's gone. You see him spear Vinny Testaverde right there. Good call.
Testaverde with a decent second half, 12 of 18, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10 at midfield. 5 minutes remaining in the contest. Bucs trailing by 3. Testaverde throws it incomplete to Mark Carrier, but there's a late flag. And Chris Dishman may have been the man involved in that. So while Houston had been good fellas, if you will, up to this point, reputation maybe catching up.
Against Tampa Bay.
Whoa, this one goes against Tampa Bay.
I think they called offensive pass interference against Bruce Hill, number 84, maybe pushing off to get as open as he was. Well, you see the ball in the air right there, and you really can't tell if he pushed off or exactly what was called. I think it's been called on Bruce Hill down at the bottom of your screen.
Because in that play there, Mark Carrier had both hands in the air going for the ball. Bruce Hill, of course, the young man studying for his law degree in the offseason. Seemed to have used a bit more than words in trying to make that play happen. Take a look at Sean Lee. Done a nice job in place of Kurt Jarvis. 1st and 20.
Tight coverage, a lot of people up there. They're going to go after him.
Testaverde throws it incomplete. Intended receiver was Bruce Hill.
They're just really putting an awful lot of pressure on Vinny. By the time he gets back there and sets up, he's got to release the ball to avoid the sack. Not able to get the velocity on the ball or the placement on the ball that he needs because of the pressure.
4:50 remaining in the contest. And this brings up a 2nd and 20.
Again, JB, they line up in the very tight coverage on the receivers, as you see right there.
Complete to Mark Carrier. And Mark Carrier gets it up around the 48-yard line, so they pick up 8 of those yards. We'll bring up a 3rd and 12 situation.
As we talked about the tight coverage, you see number 91, Johnny Meades, rushing the passer, putting a lot of pressure on. Nice job of avoiding the defensive back and making the catch for us. Chris Dishman, number 28, he fights for whatever he can get. Good job by Carrier of adjusting to the ball.
Clock winding, 4:12 remaining. Tampa has all 3 timeouts remaining. Houston with 2.
Very good second half performance by Benny Testaverde to keep his team in the game.
3rd and 12 from the 48. Testaverde drops. Steve Brown gets to him first. Second sack of the afternoon for Steve Brown.
Well, a situation where they just lay their ears back. There you see Sean Jones, 96. They bring Steve Brown. They bring some corner people, some defensive backs out of their nickel passing package. Very, very tough to defend.
Big defensive play for the Oilers as Chris Moore boots this one back to Kenny Johnson, who fair catches it at the 16-yard line. A 44-yard punt by Chris Moore. 3:41 remaining in the contest.
This is something different. The body panels will never rust. The seats can be arranged to seat up to 7. And ask yourself, have you ever traveled like this before? Meet the new Family Lumina APV. When it comes to new ideas for the family, nobody's winning like.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
Tots, the premium champagne.
Looks like Winter just did in that poor fellow's battery. Wonder if he's smart enough to replace it with a battery built for extremes. A maintenance-free, high-cranking Delco. Smart fella.
AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
Monday, when the crew's on strike, can Murphy serve up a settlement?
You're not leaving here until we can come up with a deal and until that cake is gone, and I mean every crumb.
Murphy Brown.
This Tuesday, if you must watch a comedy or a cop show, tape it. Because you won't want to miss television's most anticipated event.
A child. The pregnancy, it's not normal.
Beauty and the Beast, it's not a fairy tale anymore.
Tight ball game here in Houston. Tampa trailing by just 3. 3:41 remaining. Houston has the ball back on its own 16. And don't forget, coming up next Saturday, college basketball premiere here on CBS as Joey Meyer takes his young DePaul Blue Demons down to Tar Heel country against Dean Smith and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Dean Smith playing one of the toughest schedules in the country.
JB, you'll be down there bringing that to us, huh?
Looking forward to working with Billy Packer and getting things underway here on CBS.
We'll be tuned in.
Close ball game here, and keep in mind the Bucks have been involved in 3 consecutive one-point ball games, and they've got a close one here. 1st and 10, ball at the 16 for Houston. On the ground, Rozier. Across the 20, up to about the 24-yard line. Good second effort by Rozier for a 7-yard run.
You know, their defense turned it up a notch the last series in order to turn the ball over back for the offense. Now it's time for the offense to take control. They've got to get the ball out, work on that 331, and move the ball. Offense is time to do it.
Jerry Glanville has 2 timeouts remaining. With 3:31 remaining in the contest. And Tampa has just whistled for a timeout. They narrow it down to 2. And there is a change.
Atta babe. What Tampa will do is they'll call the timeout, and you see Eugene Marr, their middle linebacker signal caller on defense, just came over and talked to Coach Perkins. You see right there, just came over and talked to him. And what they'll do, Perkins will probably say, listen, here's what they usually do coming out from their own territory from these type formations. So let's get in this defense, see if we can hold them right here.
And certainly, as we mentioned, coming into the game, the Oilers know what's at stake here. They have control of their own destiny, sitting atop the AFC Central by the narrowest of margins. And the Browns play later on against the Colts. Cincinnati right now is losing, and that certainly does help the Oilers' cause. 2nd and 2 from the 24. Moon Tripp going back, regains his footing and overthrows the intended receiver, Ernest Gibbons. So Warren Moon, give him credit for being able to recover from that trip on the turf.
Both teams playing extremely tough, intense right now, turning it up a notch, as we said. There he gets tripped. He trips on the center. Number 52, Jay Pennison, which destroys his footwork and the timing of the thing, and then he just tries to get rid of the ball to avoid the sack. Number 79, Reuben Davis, putting on the pressure.
Some serious heat in Moon's face from Davis.
Big heat.
3rd and 2. Jay Pennison, of course, back after an injury. 4 wideouts in, the red gun package for the Oilers. And they keep it on the ground to Alonzo Highsmith, who stopped. Give the credit to Mark Robinson, who slowed him up a bit there.
Defense expecting run. They get their strong safety, usually the best tackler in the secondary. They get number 30. They get Mark Robinson right there, up to help support the run. Runs between the guard and the center and makes the play.
And calling a timeout. The Bucks down to 1 timeout remaining with 3:15 remaining in the contest. Ray Perkins' troops trailing by 3.
Well, they'll use that timeout right there because just to conserve time. You're going to need some time. You only have 3:15 left. Some more of that is going to be used up right here. And they're going to use that timeout. They're going to get another timeout at the 2-minute warning. So they do it to get the extra timeout and to conserve time for their offense.
And a good game coming your way from the House of Pain, the Astrodome. 3:15 remaining in the contest. Tampa trailing by 3. Don't forget, coming up next, the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos coming to you from Mile High Stadium. Right here, we've got a 20-17 ball game. Houston on top. Greg Montgomery back to punt for the Oilers. Willie Drury back for the Buccaneers.
And 10 men up going after it. We'll see if they come out of it. They come out of it for the return.
Low driving kick. And Drury tries to field it. Can't find the handle. Ball goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And it turns out being a 47-yard punt by Greg Montgomery. So the Buccaneers will take over at their own 31 with 3:07 remaining in the contest and 1 timeout remaining for the Bucs. Philadelphia has control of its own destiny there, leading Dallas 20-10. And certainly that puts pressure on the Giants. Minnesota trying to keep control of its own destiny, handily knocking off Atlanta. Green Bay slipping back, trailing badly to Kansas City. On 1st and 10, complete to Stamps out of the backfield, and Sylvester Stamps with 3rd effort dragging it up to the 1st down marker.
Very good effort by the little man of that backfield that they used in a lot of different ways. He's been running the ball from the backfield this week. He looks very good from there. But here's where his specialty is as a pass receiver coming out of the backfield. It's nothing short. Get the ball in his hands quick. Good, safe play. But look at the leg drive and the determination by a 190-pound guy for the 1st down.
Left unprotected by the Atlanta Falcons and signed with the Buccaneers this spring. 1st and 10, ball at the 41. Testaverde in the grasp of Sean Jones. Sack number 2 for Sean Jones. 5 on the year for him.
Very same sequence. Last series of downs that Tampa Bay had the ball. They lined up Sean Jones, their pass rushing expert, putting the heat on. They're bringing linebackers. Occasionally they will bring secondary people to try to confuse Vinny. Here it's just done with Sean Jones beating a very good offensive tackle in my mind, Paul Gruber.
32 tackles make that sacks on the year for Houston. And Testaverde gets it away to Sylvester Stamps. Nowhere near the yardage needed. bring up a third down situation. And the clock ticking, 2:26 and counting. 3rd and 19. Complete to Drury, and Drury gets up for the first down. So a big pass play from Testaverde to the former Oiler, Willie Drury.
And a nice job of Willie Drury understanding where the first down marker was. He catches the ball. Instead of trying to get him the extra yards, he just falls forward knowing that he knows where the stick is for the first down.
And Snake, I spoke too quickly. It looked like Drury had stretched out enough for the first down, but they're going to say it's about a half a yard shy. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning mark. Great ball game. Tampa on a drive, trailing by 3.
So I'm running late. I had to call Phoenix, so I'm using this other long-distance company. I dialed the wrong number. I got this guy in Fiji.
What? Is this Phoenix?
No, you reached Fiji. I dial again. Fiji again.
What are you kidding?
So I called the operator for credit. She said I'd have to talk to customer billing. I said, AT&T operators gave me instant credit. She said, you are not dealing with AT&T.
Well, I am now.
People who thought they could do better than AT&T are coming back for the real value. Aren't you glad you never left?
Who's pulling away in advanced 4x4 technology, Chevy S10 Blazer or Ford Bronco 2? Chevy pulls away in power with the biggest V6 engine in its class. Chevy pulls away with InstaTrack, America's favorite four-wheel drive system. Chevy pulls away in fun with the country's #1 sport utility vehicle. When it comes to today's 4x4s, it's Chevy S10 Blazer, clean and simple. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
On October 28th, for 2 tempting hours, Mel Kaiser was on Easy Street.
I was behind an armored truck. The rear door popped open, and it was raining money.
But instead of keeping it, Mel turned in over $57,000.
Well, they call me Mr. Honesty. I've been called worse.
To everyday heroes everywhere, we offer our best. Smooth, never bitter Miller beer.
I got it. The best comes shining through.
Why me?
Well, if you look at this right here, you see the ball in the air. There's Willie Drury making the reception. Now, where's the ball marked? There he is backing up for it. Where do you mark it? Where the hip hits at the 49.5. I'm not sure that he got the best spot that he could have gotten out of that. JB?
Snake, I tell you, that looks like a bad spot to me because from here it looked like Drury had stretched far enough that hip hit on the 49, and it should be a first down. However, the spot shows the ball about a half a yard shy of the 4th down, make that the first down marker. So it brings up a 4th down situation. Bucks are 2 of 2. And Leap himself, Lars Tate, leaps for the first down.
Well, they've got to hurry things up. They're down to 1 timeout left. They've got to speed things up right here.
And the clock is stopped at 1:47 as you take a look again at Lars Tate leaping for the first down.
This is the very thing they've done on all of their 4th down tries that they have. They've gone over Mark Cooper, 71, Rob Taylor, 72, right guard and right tackle with number 34, Lars Tate.
So Houston burns off a timeout, leaving them with 1. Now keep in mind that Donald Igwe-Buike has kicked a 53-yarder this year. He's 2 of 3 from the 50-plus range. And he did miss a 49-yarder earlier today.
A 52-yarder, JB, means that the offense has to get the ball to the 35-yard line. The 10 yards through the end zone, and he set the ball 7.5 yards behind the center. They've got to get to the 35 for a 52-yarder.
And Houston called a timeout so that they could change their defensive personnel. Now, here is where Donald Igwe-Buike could probably use a little bit of boosting. I mean, he hasn't been talked to or stroked at all today, needing it, of course, and he's got time over there thinking by himself. 1st and 10 from the 47. And Testaverde throws it complete to Sylvester Stamps.
May have been just as well if he hadn't completed that ball. They only get a yard out of it, but what happens, they're losing precious time.
1:30 and counting. And there is no gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Testaverde going up top to Wilder, complete. Does he hold him long enough? No, interception, Houston. So Wilder looked like he came down with the ball. One might have thought down by contact, but the ball came loose, and Bubba McDowell recovered.
Very unfortunate. James Wilder carried this team on offense for years, and here he is making the play, the veteran performer. Nicely thrown by Vinny, right in the numbers. There, he's got reception. He's hit. Ball comes loose before he's down. Good call by the officials. Houston takes over. Another angle of it. Nice throw. Nice catch. Nice physical play by the Houston Oilers. Jeff Donaldson, number 31, making the hit, causing the fumble.
Boy, what a heartbreaker. If you're a Tampa fan, and certainly Jerry Glanville, very proud that his guys were alert on that play. And it appears as if the play is being reviewed, but from the first replay we saw, it looked to be an excellent call.
Here's the angle that we saw just a minute ago. Number 32, James Wilder. There's Donaldson, number 31, coming in to make the play. Looks like the late hit, the second hit, not a late hit, but the second hit forces the fumble. Steve Brown.
And as you mentioned, James Wilder for years has really been the man upon whose back the team has been carried, and what a break.
Exactly right. Carried this team an awful long time before they had the firepower that they have now. He's always been a great performer, a team man, and you have to feel for him. A break for Houston, though.
1:18 remaining. 1st and 10. Ball at the 19 of Houston. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers call for their last timeout. You can believe that the Buccaneers are doing their best to play spoiler here this afternoon. Don't forget, coming up next, we've got a big one. New York and Denver. Denver, of course, looking to try to clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Giants looking to win everything remaining. Right now, they're tied with the Philadelphia Eagles atop the NFC East, but actually trailed by virtue of losing to the Eagles twice, and the Eagles right now leading against Dallas, Minnesota. And with that loss to Detroit, Chicago eliminated from the playoffs. First time since 1983. Boy, I hate to be in the locker room if Ditka has not found everything in his vocabulary to throw at him. And New Orleans in a must-win situation, eking out ahead. Washington real bad with San Diego. Of course, Washington needs that win. If they lose, they're out of it. How many different playoff scenarios?
600 and some odd scenarios. I'm going to let you have all of them. They say they want Cincinnati. I'm sure they're going to get them. I think Cincinnati will probably be here.
I think Brent Musburg and Irv Cross can handle it a little better up in New York, and they will. Play action by Moon. Well, Snake, might not that be a very risky play?
I don't particularly like that situation right there for a couple of different reasons. You've got your quarterback out there running with the ball, taking all that punishment. You've already run the team out of their timeouts. So let's give the ball to one of those big backs and hit it up off the corners and use up that and not get our quarterback beat up. Here it is right here. Moon coming out. Play fake to try to get outside. It's a risky call down here. The thing I don't like about it is you've got a guy running with the ball that's a high-priced commodity that you have to have going into the playoffs.
And the clock is running, 30 seconds and counting. And Moon runs it again, but this time to the other side as Winston Moss drops it. Snake, what is the formation and the play call that you like so much when you're ahead?
Well, what we called it in Oakland when we had the game under control, as the Houston Oilers do right here, when you line up and just kneel down on one knee. You just get in the huddle, you call a formation and say, win the game on 2. Win the game, and that's what we call it. It was my favorite play, by the way. Kneel down and win the thing.
So Jerry Glanville and the Houston Oilers come away with a squeaker of a victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and stay atop the AFC Central. Ray Perkins comes over to talk with Jerry Glanville. And Perkins' club certainly did have a much better showing in the second half.
Came out with a lot of intensity, JB, and really had the game under control. Not under control, but had a chance to win the game. The unfortunate penalty.
As it stands right now, Houston has improved its record to 9-5. Cleveland, of course, will be playing later on against the Indianapolis Colts. And Houston with its own destiny in its hands. Once again, our final score is Houston 20, Tampa Bay 17. For Ken Stabler, this is James Brown saying so long from the Astrodome. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after these words from your local station.